Oba, it's nice to have you on here, man. Would you introduce yourself for people who may not know you?
Okay, my name is Over the Great. I am from United States, specifically from New York. That's the state I'm from. The city that I'm from is Niagara Falls, New York. I just recently moved from Las Vegas now to Charlotte, North Carolina. I am the leader and owner of Barbarian Empire. I also have a water company named Oba Water. And I'm also doing content right now on digital currencies, cryptocurrency, blockchain, and teaching people the system, the global system. So I'm sharing my knowledge with everyone, and that's basically me in a nutshell so far. Until we get deeper in the interview.
Yep, we'll get into all that later, but I want to start from the beginning. What was your childhood like?
Mm. Actually, my childhood was, I would say, very, very, very interesting. So basically, I grew up with the typical Black American family. We would go to our uncle house or our grandmother house and barbecues every weekend. I had my mother and father, both were in my life, and it was five of us. Well, actually, it was six of us, and then including my friend. He ended up, since I was 4 years old, sticking with us. So it was actually seven. So family vacations,
Mm.
get-togethers, wrestling. Wrestling. Actually we did something called AAU wrestling, which is basically like, I wouldn't say professional wrestling, but wrestling league. So we used to
Oh,
place. We used to make it to nationals every year. Me and two of my other brothers, we were actually really good at it. My youngest brother, he was actually very, very good. He actually almost placed in nationals, but we used to always bring home trophies with wrestling, playing football. And we were the popular neighborhood kids. Like, we always had like the new stuff that came out. When a DVD player first came out, we had it. When
mm.
satellite TV first came out, we had it. When a new PlayStation, GameCube, and all that came out, we had it. So all the kids in the neighborhood come over and play. It'd be at least 10 to 15 kids at our house daily. So my mom used to have these big pots. Pots used to be huge, cooking spaghetti, cooking everything for the whole neighborhood. And my house was the neighborhood house. We actually applied for historical status for my house because so many kids from actually around the world used to come over because we got into a dance and started doing a style called crumping, and that became a globally massive dance. And we were the kids
Holy
that a lot
shit.
of people around the world were actually learning from because we had a camera. So we were like the first YouTubers. When YouTube first came out, we had one of the first YouTube channels. So kids would see this dance from our channel and want to come over our house and dance. So kids would come from literally from around the world to come to my mom's house,
Holy
sleep
shit.
over, dance. And with my blog channel that I just started, I actually started telling some of these stories with the actual video footage because most of my life since I was about 15, 16 years old has been on camera. So I'm basically one of the quote unquote OG YouTubers. I've been OG YouTuber.
Holy shit, yo, that's interesting. Uh, holy fuck. What's one childhood memory that makes you smile when you think about it?
um, I would say when we all just used to hang out, like just hang out and and my dad cussing us out. He'll come in the living room. He'll see at least 7 or 8 kids in the living room, sprawled all over the floor. Somebody playing GameCube, somebody else on a laptop, and we all just hanging out. Like, a lot of people I still talk to this day, they always remind us, like, man, we was raised at your house, and the good times that we had there of playing chase and playing manhunt and playing tag and everything.
Mm. Yeah, man. Hey, I think that's something that a lot of people can relate to. You know, it's like those childhood friends. You know, you have the best memories with them.
Absolutely.
Who's someone you looked up to as a kid a lot?
Ooh. Um. Hmm. I don't know. I wouldn't say. I would say probably my older brother. Probably my older brother because
Mm.
he left the house kind of early. So when he left the house kind of early, he would always come back like with just stuff I've never seen. Like he always come back with stuff I've never seen. Like
Like what?
he used to get in trouble a lot. And I remember one time he snuck to Canada. So Canada from where I live is like you would say like one city block away. So yes, we had a whole nother country a city block away. Like if you depending what house you were in, you could see the whole Canada from the attic.
Oh
So
shit.
at that time it cost 25 cents just to go across the border to Canada. So he was 15 years old and he used to sneak back and forth to Canada and he used to come back with all the new clothes. He used to come back with stuff we never seen. Like, yeah, man, this was gonna be hot, man. They're not doing it here because where we're from, it's actually a very, very small town. So from going from a small town, you're going to a whole nother country to where it has one of
Damn.
the biggest cities in that country next to it, and he's coming back with all the new trendy stuff. So I'll say it'd be my older brother.
That's a good answer actually. I want to
Yeah.
ask you now, going away from the childhood part, how did you come up with your name? Because you have an interesting name, Oba. Oba the Great.
Oba the Great. So Oba means ruler in Yoruba, Nigerian.
Oh.
I had a name before that and it used to be shooter. And it had a double meaning to it. Um for my fathers that already know that I went to prison, did about 6 years. Guns.
What for?
Guns, gun possession. So so basically that name I built up, as you would say, in the streets. And then it was also simultaneously, I was a video director at the same time. Because remember, I was telling you,
Yeah.
childhood, we always had a camera. So around the time I was filming the first music videos in my city, I was actually one of the first people that actually did street videos, like actual street videos in the
Yes.
United States. And around the time, it was me, Vlad, Vlad, I do Vlad TV, Decatur Dan, I think it's like Gabriel Hart, and I think it's like two other people. We were the first people that were doing actual street music videos because they came out with the DSLR camera, the cameras that people use now. These
Yeah.
we had the first ones, but they were big. So my brother, so when I got it, I got it directly from China. It had Chinese directions, everything. We had to switch it to English. So at that time, music videos, that's when they had the big budgets. You had to have 250,000 to get a music video and stuff. We were able to do these on the streets for $1,000. So that changed the game.
Holy shit.
And I was one of the first employees of World Star Hip Hop, which finally
Yeah.
a few weeks ago, they accepted that I worked there, and then I was able to put it on my resume. But I was one of the first people that worked in with World Star Hip Hop
Mm.
because we were able to do these street videos that everybody see now, which is the regular, the norm, and people like, where does that come from? Hi, I'm one of the originators. so so my so before I went to prison, like I said, I was doing street activities, whatever.
Mhm.
And my dad used to always say, he said, "Man, you can't serve two gods. Either you're gonna get into this filming stuff, or you gonna if you want to be in the streets, you're gonna be in the streets. You know what's gonna happen." And I thought I could balance both, and I ended up getting arrested on my way from a music video I just shot.
Oh shit.
So, so I learned two of the guys at once. Yeah, they both taught me a lesson. Yeah, and went to prison.
Mm. What was that lesson? What lesson did you take from that?
Um, One, don't take time serious because I learned that time is the most important thing ever. Because that's the only thing that they take away from you as a punishment is your time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
don't waste time. And at the same time, time is non-existent because when you lose track of time in
Yeah.
there, because for me to do the years that I did, it don't feel like it. It feel like a flash
Real.
in a pan.
Like.
So they say in prison, you only do 2 days: the day that you get there and the day that you leave, and that's exactly what it is. Those are the only 2 days that I remember vividly.
So like 6 years did not feel like a long time.
I did 3.5 first, and then I went back on a probate on parole.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was a time it was time broken up into it.
Mm.
So the 3.5 years, it didn't feel like a lot. And no, I'm not encouraging y'all to say, "Hey,
Yeah, I know.
go to prison. It's not gonna feel long." Nah, nah, nah. Because they giving everybody football numbers, 10, 20s, and 30s.
Yeah.
I did my time and got it out the way. But yeah, it was pretty fast.
Mm.
It was a long time and a short time at the same time, basically.
Mm. Do you have like a story from jail, if you don't mind me asking? Like an interesting
Whew,
story?
I don't know if okay, I'll say this. We saw the direct impact of drill music.
Oh,
So
wow.
when I went in from 2012, well, late 2011 to 2015, I guess drill music had came out around that time.
Mm.
So when I got in there, it was a lot of people that was older than me. I went in, I was 20, 21, 22, and everybody the usual age group I was around, they were like in their 30s. They
Mhm.
already had 10, 15 years in and everything like that. So we were considered the kids at 20. So I guess when drill music came out, that whole era of Bobby Shmurda, Chief Keef, and everything
Mm,
like
yeah.
that, I guess it had the effect on the young kids. So I say 2015, I mean 2014, early 2014, we end up having the worst year on record as far as prison violence because every day they were at least shipping in 20 to 30 kids between 7 and 19. That's all we kept seeing.
What the
17,
fuck?
17 and 19. It was so many kids.
Holy
And
shit.
also it was paired with the opiate epidemic too. So we were seeing a
Mm.
lot of influx of white kids come in. And white kids in prison or white people in prison is kind of very like rare. It's low numbers. So we're seeing the influx of a lot of white
Mm.
kids, and we're just seeing the influx of just kids. So we're seeing
Mm.
opium epidemic, and we're seeing the drug epidemic at the same time come in. So it was just war every day, every single day. I actually made a
Holy
song
shit.
about it that's going to be on my new tape. But it was war every single day. People getting cut,
Mm.
people getting beat up, people getting jumped, people getting stabbed. Every single
Holy shit.
we have something where it's called movement. So movement is
Yeah.
basically every 45 minutes to where you go from whatever you're going from the mess hall to your dorm to the dorm to people who got school or wherever you have to go. Every single movement for 4 months, some type of violent act was happening, and we were
Mm.
seeing people get cut. Uh, as one dude, they end up going to war, and I remember it so vividly. They were walking. I was walking from the mess hall, and everybody was walking to the mess hall. And I could see the dude. He had a bright red hoodie. It was just bright. Like for some reason, this hoodie was brighter than every other hoodie we ever seen. And he tried to run up on the dude. He tried to run up on the dude and cut him from behind his face with a razor,
Holy
but
shit.
he missed. Ended up getting slammed. So the dude
Oh.
had whatever he had on him. The dude had whatever razor that he had on. Got on the dude back. Dude was laying
Oh
down flat.
man.
Got on his back and was just cutting his face up
Oh shit.
for at least
Yo.
2 or 3 minutes until the people came. And his face was so red, and you couldn't even recognize chop meat. That's all I can say.
Holy shit, man. Yo, that's crazy. Yo. You know, I wanted to ask you about like you said 17 to 19, like you can go to jail before 18 in the US.
Yeah, depending on your crime, yes. And a lot of the kids were coming in with assaults with a deadly weapon, shootings.
Oh,
So they can say, well, okay, if you're within 6 months or whatever, we can send you there. So yeah, they can actually send you there when you're
mm,
14 years old,
fucking hell.
depending on your crime, because they might send you to a youth authority because they'll get something called juvenile life, which is
Mm,
14 to 21. You spend 14 to 21,
mm,
and depending on how violent you are, they can send you to grown man prison at 16 years old.
fucking hell, yo, that's crazy. You know, a lot of the things like between Europe and the US are very different. Like can you like you can buy a gun without having a license, like as soon as you turn
Yeah,
18? Fuck, that's
yes.
crazy.
Yeah, you can just walk. You can walk into your local Walmart, literally, like
Fuck.
your local store. You walk into your local store and just go buy one. You can
Yo,
buy a shotgun. You can buy AK-47. You can buy yeah. We live in Grand Theft Auto in America.
uh,
A lot of people
yo,
don't know that Grand Theft Auto is just what the other countries see what America
yeah.
is.
You know, like here, like you have to do all the psychoanalysis, which takes like 6 weeks to 2 months, something like that, before, and you can't even really like do it at 18. I believe you have to be at least 21 and do all the tests, and then get the license, and then you're limited to handguns, then to bigger guns. You know, like it's so many barriers here. In the U.S., you can just buy one at 18. Like what the fuck?
Yeah,
That's
so
unimaginable.
yeah, so New York, the state of New York is going to be like that. So the
Mm.
way America is, each state is basically its own independent country with their own set of laws,
Mm.
own set of licenses, own set of. You
Oh.
might can do something in one state that you can't do in another, and that's why it's called the United States because those
Mm.
states separately just united under federal
Yeah.
law, but they each operate independently. So in the state of New York, you have to go through the regulations that you said, but down in Louisiana, you can just have a gun. You don't have to go to any. You don't have to go to anybody. They just a few. It's actually a few states now where you can just have a gun when the police pull you over. You just have to have it on a dashboard. You don't need a license. You don't need anything. You can just be 18, have a gun, and that's it.
Do you think like that's part of the reason why there are more crime with handguns than in Europe, like school shootings, etc. Here, like one school shooting happened in Prague, like I believe a year ago, and they still talk about it because it happens like once a few years. And in the US, you have school shootings more often. Do you think like that's part of the reason?
Yeah, we're desensitized to it, and a lot of it has to do with mental health too,
Yeah.
because nobody right now, America is in bad shape. Nobody can afford
Mm.
nothing. No, there's no middle class anymore. So everybody's mental health
Wow.
is just getting worse. But people can't even afford groceries. Uh, I don't know if you ever see images of what it looks like in California of the homelessness problem. It looks like
Oh
a
yeah,
movie.
I've heard about
So
that. Yeah.
yeah, it's really like that. So, but we have that all over the country. So a lot of places are outside of the major
Mm.
cities are like tore down and run down. There's certain it's so bad that certain small towns now that they actually like I don't want to say boarded up, but they block the exits to you can't even go to certain
Mm.
small towns because they're just done. They have no economy. They're gone because a lot of that is coming with prison reform too, because prisons are being closed down because they're dangerous. Like it's people are
Mm.
dying, and unless people are actually going to prison. So when it comes to like the whole gun thing, a lot of it it's mental health. It's mental health and guns put together in poverty. So all of that together is you get America.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Yo, let's let this conversation aside and maybe getting back into it. But I want to ask about you. Like, when did you start posting content or making music on the internet? Like,
Okay, I started making music a few years ago during the
mm,
pandemic. It was more or less to prove a point because at first,
mm,
when I came home from prison in 2015, I was managing artists. Because before I went to prison, I was filming music videos for artists. And
mm,
then when I came home, I said, "Hey, maybe I can manage artists." So I had a record
mm,
label that ended up being one of the biggest in my city at the time. So we come from a city where nobody has really won anything. Nobody has quote unquote, as you say, made it or done it. So
mm,
now
yeah,
they were getting some type of success to the point they were able to quit their jobs and actually make music full time. They're making more money for music than they ever did with their jobs. So a lot of people couldn't handle that, and they were getting scared of having actual fans where you're in the mall and somebody want to come take a picture with you now, or
yeah,
people following you, or you see somebody look at you and be like, why are they looking at me? But they just recognize you from your music video. So a lot of them couldn't handle it. So a lot of them started quitting, like literally quitting out of fear. And then shady, a lot of them was doing shady business. I never made $1 off of them, and they made $1 off of me.
mm,
And So I started rapping to prove a point. Like I know what I'm to show. I know what I'm talking about.
Mm.
I know what I'm doing. And y'all, for some reason, you're not believing in what I'm saying or the roadmap that I'm setting out. Okay, so I'm gonna do it for myself. So that's when I started rapping. And then before I knew it, I didn't know up until a few months ago that I released 5 albums. I was like, wow, I released 5 albums. So so then so I ended up during the pandemic, I was also dealing with cryptocurrency. So now we're getting into the content
Mm.
creating part. I ended up dealing with
Mhm.
cryptocurrency and made a lot of money from cryptocurrency. Changed my life. So I started traveling around, enjoying the money, enjoying the life or whatever.
Mhm.
So because I acquired all of this knowledge from it, I said, okay, let me go ahead. Last year, I said, let me go ahead and I just want to share some of the knowledge. So I was doing a couple of videos based off of a few stitches on TikTok, and then I started going viral a little bit. I said, oh, okay, this is cool.
Mm.
Like, all right. But then again, I was like, man, I'm not a content creator. I'm not really into this. So I stopped it for a while. So the beginning of this year, in January, really January, actually, no, not January, the end of February this year, I probably had like probably I say 8,000 followers or something on Instagram, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this for real. And
Yeah.
now, since February earlier this year, it grew into what it's growing to now.
Mm. Yeah. So, do you remember like your first ever video on YouTube?
My first ever video on YouTube is it actually was a dance video, and it's still up there too. And it was we shot on a small little digital camera,
Mm.
and it was just us dancing in my mom's house. We put a little bit of music behind it, and then on MySpace it did like 3 million views.
Oh.
And it was over there. It was over from there.
Ah, holy shit, yeah. So, what was like your like on YouTube on your channel? You have the first ever piece of music. It was 7 years ago. It's called Untouchable. That's actually a pretty dope song. I listened to it yesterday, I believe, and it's actually pretty good. What was the story behind that?
At the time was that's when I still had the artist. That was like around the end of me managing artists, and my stature in the city at the time. So
Mm-hmm.
I felt untouchable. And
Mm.
basically, it was me proving the point of this is who I am and this is what it is, down to the words what I was saying of, hey, y'all, it's me. I'm outside today.
Mm.
Yo, it's me rapping now. So it was me. It was a statement piece.
Yeah, interesting. How do you improve yourself as an artist? Because over the 7 years, I'm pretty sure like you've had some improvements. Like how does a rapper like improve over time? What do you think is like the main thing?
It's like an exercise.
Huh.
It's like a muscle. And it's like any sport. If you keep doing it, you're gonna get better. Eventually, you're gonna be like,
Mm.
okay, I don't like the way I say that word here. Okay, maybe I should do it here. Okay, now this is a type of slower beat pattern. Maybe if I do this type thing, it's just like any other craft. You just get better over time through repetition.
Hmm. Okay. Do you have any song like you regret posting or you regret releasing?
Ooh, yeah, because it ain't up no more. It was a freestyle. It was a freestyle, and it was a freestyle, and there was so many guns in that video. Yeah, it was so
Oh
many
yeah.
it was so many guns in that video. Yeah, I took it down. It was over after that. I didn't want,
Oh.
even though everybody kind of outside of me and my friend, because we didn't have guns in our hands. Because at the time I was on parole. This is what got me violated
Oh
on parole.
shit.
Was the video. So
Oh shit.
the guns were actually props. Like I had the
Oh.
receipt for them and everything because I at
Mm.
least understood, hey, we can't have real guns in these videos because the
Mhm.
police will. I mean, they will come get us.
Yeah.
So with parole, they actually have a rule that you can't even have prop guns
What the fuck?
for even if I was acting in a movie or anything like that. Because I told them they came in. The police actually came and raided my house. Not the
Oh
police, but
shit.
parole with police came and raided my house. So when they found the duffel bag, they thought it was they like, yeah, you're done. Like they found a duffel bag full of the fake guns. All they seen is a bag full of fake guns, but it had camera equipment, it had everything in it. It had all
Yeah,
my camera
sure.
equipment in it. So when they came, they were just like, yeah, you're done. Everything. They had a house around it and everything. And they were like, put your arms behind your back. I said, what I'm getting violated for?
Mm.
I said, what I'm going to jail for? They were like, you don't see this pile of guns in his bag? I said, they're fake. Take them out. Take them out. They said they're all plastic. The noses are bent from the plastic. And they were just like, oh,
Mm.
the police left immediately, but parole stayed. They were just like,
Mm.
come on, man. They look at me. They were mad at me. And then they was like, well, they took me out of handcuffs. They were just like, well, come to come to parole next week because they did on a Friday. So they're like,
Mhm.
well, we'll see you Monday. I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking the
Wow.
whole week. I said, yeah, they're about to violate me. So I already went with sweatpants, something I could throw away. I said they're about to violate me. And the
Mm.
first thing they did was they make me take a urine test because that's what they do. They make you take a urine test to try
Mm.
to see if you're dirty, so they can give you. It's called technicals. So they
Oh.
can give you more technicals to add on to give you more time. But the
That's
crazy
crazy.
thing about it was I only had on the streets because you have street time and you have parole time, which is your good time
Mhm.
left. On the street time, I only had 2.5 weeks left of parole, and then they would have
Oh.
vacated parole. But I had months left on good time, so they violated me.
Oh.
They violated me
Yeah,
and
man.
said, "Yeah, you gotta do the rest of your good time," and that's where the rest of the
Mm.
years came. And that's what it said. It said for having um is it mock? I don't know what it was. I think like
Mm.
mock weaponry or something like that. And when they were taking my name during intake, the police were like, this can't be real. They're sending you back to prison for this. Yes, yes. They was like, but it says also down here that you own a film studio and stuff. I said, yeah. I
Mm.
said, you just can't have it. It's like that is a crazy technicality, but that's what they
Yeah.
did.
Holy shit, yo, that's actually. Oh, that would piss me off like hell. Like, how did you
That
feel
was
at that?
that was actually when the prison time felt long because I was
Oh,
there for no reason. And they sent me to the most peaceful
yeah.
prison ever. There wasn't even
Mm.
there was only like one fight the whole time I was there. They sent me
Mm.
they knew they did wrong, so they made sure they sent me to a prison that was close to home and it was the most peaceful one. Got to see my family every week and whatever. And after I finished my time, I was done. I had to deal with parole no more or
Mm.
anything like that. They knew it was some BS.
Yo, I mean, as a whole, like, I think that the law system in the U.S. seems scary to me. Like,
If you don't
as a
have money, you're going to jail. It is terrible. It's terrible and it's very slanted because of slavery. So because of slavery in the
Mm.
US, when slavery ended, they're like, okay, we don't have anybody to do free labor. So literally a year after that, that's when they created the US prison system and the policing system. And under the 13th Amendment, when you get convicted of a crime, you're actually legally signed into slavery again for that
Oh.
time being under the 13th Amendment. They actually did a documentary on it called the 13th Amendment, but that's how they get their quote unquote slaves back. So disproportionately, one in every third African American is put back into prison.
Man, that's that's racist as hell. What the fuck, yo?
Yeah, it's so the racism is so ingrained here that it's normalized to where they don't understand they're being racist. They don't
Mm.
understand it because it's so normal. They wake up. It's part of their everyday life.
Mm.
It's part of whatever. We still have something in the United States called sundown towns.
Mm.
And sundown towns is basically black people can't be there after dark, after the sun goes down.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's real.
What the
It's
fuck is
real.
that? That's
Sometimes,
discrimination like hell.
yeah, and it's one of those things that where it's like it's not like a law, but it's one of those things that it's just known. You get what I'm saying? It's just known.
Mm.
Hey, we can't be out in this country ass city around this when it get dark because you're going to jail automatically. They're gonna say you had cocaine,
Oh,
guns, or something, and then they send you to go work on the
fucking hell,
plantations.
yo.
Yeah.
When you mentioned that people don't realize they're being racist, I must say that here in Czech Republic, the majority of people are white. But when I went with my friend and his little brother to Prague, this is the capital city, a lot of tourists go there. And my friend, he was 17, and his little brother, who was I believe 11, and I don't know why we decided to take him with us. He saw a black person, and he started taking his phone and recording him. And I'm like, "Yo, tell your brother to stop recording him." He saw a black person for the first time in his life. He started recording him. That
Yeah,
was
like what the yeah, and they do that in Asian countries. They do that everywhere. And for us, we were like, okay, so we have to break down the difference between like, okay, like
mm,
racism, prejudice, and things like that. Okay, so
mm,
by him filming, it wasn't necessarily racist. It was curiosity of him not knowing.
yeah.
Some people can take it as oh, it's being racist. But what racism is with malice intent. That's what racism
Mm,
is. When it's malice intent, you can't
mm,
eat here because you're black or because you're white or because that's racism when it's malice intent. So he had a pure curiosity of now that we have the
mm,
internet that we're knowing that okay, were black, and a lot of people haven't seen black people in real life
mm,
outside of what they see on TV or whatever
yeah.
is pushed out to them. So I remember when a lot of Africans were first coming over to United States,
Mm,
their image of black people, they thought either we were gangsters or we were very very rich because of when they saw the Cosby Show, which was about a black doctor family growing up.
mm,
They were affluent. Family Matters when the with Steve Urkel, where the smartest person was a black kid, and the father was a black police officer, and their family were well to do. So they were seeing these sitcoms of well to do black families. So they would come to America to chase the
mm,
American dream and think, oh, we're gonna be just like them.
mm,
These prominent black families we're seeing in the United States until they get here and realize this ain't that. So a lot of TV, a lot of things on television program people to think
mm.
America is one thing that is not. Like we are a third world country wearing a Gucci belt. Like it is, it is terrible. Very select few people are rich and mostly everyone is poor.
But to be fair, yeah, I mean, if when I saw a video on YouTube, like when a black man traveled through Africa, I think it was in Ghana or some country like that, and there was like this kid who was running away with him, and he told his mom like he saw a ghost because it was white. uh,
Yeah,
so I
it's
mean,
crazy.
yeah.
It's crazy because we still don't have the internet is very young. The
Mm,
internet is young, so and most people don't have internet access
yeah.
to where me and you we're talking to each other in two
Yeah.
different time zones right now. But the average person doesn't have that. They don't have that. So
Mm,
the exposure level is still low. It's still
yeah.
low. They never seen a black person or a white person in real life. But like, what the hell is this?
Holy shit. Yeah, man. But do you also feel like some people like some people use like racism as an excuse for like let's say they commit a crime and they say the cops arrest me because I'm black, let's say, or white, or in a black country, and it's not because of that. It's because you committed a crime and you're the only one that's been on the crime scene. So yes, you're gonna be a suspect, even if you're innocent. Whether you would be white or black, the cops would like interrogate you. Do you feel like some people like use that as an excuse or something?
Some people do, but here in America, most of the time we have like it's districts, like the Hunger Games. You ever seen the Hunger
Mm.
Games?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's kind of like districts. So the prominent black district of black people we are put in mainly neighborhoods almost by color. So
Mm.
you have the suburbs, which is going to be predominantly white people
Mm.
and Asians, and then you're going to have now you're having a lot of Hispanic, Latino communities.
Mm.
They're having their own communities on the side. Then you have black communities, and everybody those are considered they're called the projects. So
Mm.
where's a dense population, and those areas are police more than others. While you can have a white family where the father may kill his whole family, you may have a black person where he's selling drugs and they're getting in shootouts
Mhm.
because scarce resources. So it's across the board is fucked up. Excuse my language, but
No, it's
that's
fine.
basically how America when they say how come we got to make it everything about race, where sadly in America everything is about race and it is terrible. It's terrible, and people either fail to see it. I don't even want to say people fail to see it at this point. People just don't want
Mm.
to see it at this
Or
point. They don't. They
ignorant
don't. They
towards
don't
it. Yeah.
care. They like you stay over there, we stay over here, and
Mm.
it's a bad situation over here, and
Yeah.
it's actually getting worse.
Mm. Yeah. Also, again, we've gotten to rant, which was amazing. I want to ask you, do you have haters? And if so, what do they say?
Hell yeah. I got two types of haters. One from my hometown because of
Mm.
some of them feel like what they deem as success when they look at
Mm.
what I'm doing. They feel like why is it him and not me because we come from the same background and we come from the same 24 hours and they're like, well, damn, I was with him during this. How come he
Mm.
get picked for this? I didn't. And they may feel they're not doing enough in life, and
Mm.
that's dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then the random people, the people that follow me just to troll, they just follow me just hate my guts. They wake up every day. They can't
Mm.
wait to see what I post just to hate me.
Yeah. Those are the
So
random people. I think I call them NPCs because they don't seem like real people. They seem like bots. It's like who wakes up and instead of improving their own lives, they focus on other people. It's like that I cannot imagine that style of thinking. And to the first type of haters, it's like, well, of course you're from the same background, but you're not where he is because you didn't take the same action as he did. You took different actions. Like that, I think that makes sense. But yeah, it makes sense because it's envy, right? They're not really pissed off at you. That's not why they hate. What they hate about you is not you. What they hate about you is that you're better than them, or because they're pissed off at their actions. That's usually how it goes. They're pissed off at themselves and they channel that anger towards you because they wish they would have done what you did. For example, that's usually what it
absolutely,
is. Usually,
absolutely.
mhm.
And I've been going through that my whole life because, like I was telling you earlier, with the whole dancing
Mhm.
and being the popular kids on the block. So when we started doing the dancing and we were dancing at parties and shows and doing choreography, the whole city would come out.
Mm.
So that obviously made us popular amongst the girls. So when we had these house parties, dancing with the girls, partying with the girls,
Mm.
and these other guys are looking like, oh man, the girls is with them, they're corny, they're just dancers and stuff like that.
Mm.
Like, and that's how me being in the street started was from we was at a party. One of my friends was dancing with a girl that she
Mm.
just broke up with her ex and they swung on him. They swung on him. We end up all fighting, and then since that whole summer we was just fighting them all summer. And then
Mm.
one time one of them actually brought a weapon, and that's where it changed. That's where it got
Mm.
okay. They didn't use the weapon, but then we understood. Okay, now they're bringing weapons.
Mm.
Now we have to have weapons, and
Yeah, yeah,
then
yeah.
that started a thing of where it was just a domino effect. It was just a
Mm.
domino effect. So when it comes to the hater stuff, it's just like, man, we've been doing it our whole life. So what got worse as adults was with cryptocurrency.
Mm.
And we're going through the pandemic, and I was trying to teach everybody, hey man, get this coin, get this or get that. And people, man, it's a scam, it's this, because around the time Forex was becoming very big, and
Mm.
the Forex people were scamming people.
Yes.
So they thought it was the same
Yes.
thing. So I'm like, listen, this is not it. Do it. And everybody on there, it's a scam, it's a scam, it's a scam.
Very
It's
different.
only a few people only a few people listened to me, put their
Yeah.
money in. They made a lot of money. It also
Mm.
changed their lives too, and people hated me for that because
Yeah.
what I did wrong was show how much I was making, and I was
Yeah.
showing unbelievable amounts of money I was making a day from
Mm.
cryptocurrency, and
Yep.
people were like, nah, why their family starving during the pandemic, and I'm showing this type of money going on beaches and stuff like that.
Yeah. we're gonna get into crypto later on, but I wanna say this. I think that actually it does make sense when you think about it. All hate comes from within, from that person, from their insecurities or their they envy you usually. You don't see like people that like you don't see like multi-millionaires hating on a guy that's just started his YouTube channel. You don't see that because he doesn't envy him. He's actually cheering on him. If you see a YouTuber that has like 1 million subscribers seeing a smaller channel with 2,000 subscribers, you never see him hating on him. You never see that. So usually every single hater is because you have something they don't have and they aim you for it. That's usually
Yeah.
where it comes from.
And when it comes to the social media hate, like now because I have so many followers,
Yeah.
I don't see the comments. They only
Right.
prioritize. Instagram actually smart for this. They prioritize the comments that you see based on the popularity. So if the person's
Yep.
semi-famous or something like that, then I'll see their comments. Or if I
Yep.
interact with them, like how me and you are interacting, if you were to comment or like
Yep.
something, now I can see your comments because
Yeah.
me and you interact. But other than that, I don't see the comments anymore. And that was a good thing, a conscious thing that they did
Mm.
because not what because I post political content and money content. People are always on there just arguing. The comments is a war zone. Because last night I was
Yeah.
posting the presidential debate. I can only imagine what those comments look like.
I just saw him. I just saw him today, bro. Like, oh my goodness. There are like some people that say that that Trump's a dickhead and blah blah blah. Trump's a conservative and blah blah blah. And there are some people that Kamala's washed. It's like those two people cutting into each other, like Kamala and Trump, bro. I like what the fuck. And
Yeah, it's
actually,
crazy.
I want to say something. Like, when did Kamala say what she's gonna do? Like, I don't watch
I
every
don't
second.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't recall. And I put it on my Facebook. On my Facebook, I made a
Yeah.
stat and I said they both bullshitting. We
Mm.
fucked. We don't know what's happening. I said I'm moving overseas. I'll see y'all later. Nobody, man, because they both just out
Yeah.
out to steal the money. They out
Mm.
to just to before we go all into a global digital one world
Mm.
government blockchain type of government. They're just trying to steal the last of the cash before they.
Huh.
So that what it looks like. It's just like a run on cash because we know what
Well,
they're doing with the Ukraine money and
hold on a second. Like, the thing is, I don't think that Trump is doing it necessarily for the money because Trump is
he's
basically
already
the
rich.
yeah, he's the only person that refused a presidential salary. He's the only person that refused that. What is like
Yeah,
400,
he's
500 grand?
he's not like for him. He's not doing it for the money because he already had money. He was a billionaire before that. He's doing it because he's getting revenge. A lot of people don't know that. Like a
What do
lot
you
of
mean?
these people, he's getting revenge. Like a lot of these companies that died were people that did not like him when he was just a businessman that were trying to get him
Mm.
shut out and all this stuff. So they're trying to stop him from being president because they
Mm.
know after y'all done gave that man 40 something felonies, all of y'all going to jail.
Yeah.
Everybody, all y'all going to jail. Y'all literally ain't convicted him of that. They're going to jail and they know they're trying everything.
Mm.
Basically, as you would say, the elites are at war right now. They're
Mm.
they're at war right now, and that's basically what we're watching right now. And he's
Mm.
looking at it like nobody even listed a policy of what they're doing at this point.
Yeah.
And with the whole thing that we're getting with the immigration is now they said now the illegal immigrants they can vote now. So they're basically they're trying to sway the votes with the illegal immigrants
Mm.
so they can get Kamala in and stop whatever
Yeah.
punishment they basically have coming from him. So we're basically watching at least war with each other. It has nothing to do with us. And the debate
Mm.
last night basically showed this has nothing to do with us because they were talking crazy to each other. They weren't even like they weren't even like really even saying anything except for just throwing dirt on each other,
Yeah,
and
that's
they were talking about the people.
yeah. You know, I see like in the comments like you know what's funny? It's not like a lot of people commenting. A lot of people are replying to each other and just like spending time of their day to argue with each other. Like somebody said like Trump got done or something like that, or like Trump got clowned, and he's like somebody replies to that comment explaining why he didn't, and then the second person says why he did, and then the third person comes in and replies to another, and you see like 15 comments to one comment replying at each other and fighting with each other. At that point, you can just go into that person's DMs and like talk it out, and it's
And they
like,
were, and you know what thing, and they will argue for days. They would
yeah,
argue for days. I've seen some of
yeah,
my most viral videos, and I'll see it's 3 days ago, 2 days ago. They will argue for
yeah,
days on
man,
there, and that's the difference between becoming a spectator and a
yeah,
influencer.
yeah,
And so now I don't see any of that, and that is seeing that many comments a day or being involved with it, that is not good for your mental health whatsoever. Like it is terrible. Like it get people on there like they argue about what's going on with Kamal and them, and next you know they just hate me. Like, I saw one comment on there. Somebody was like, "I hate you. I don't like your channel anymore. I thought it was Trump 2024." I'm like, mind you, I don't say a word. I didn't say a
yeah,
word. Nothing. I'm
yeah,
not
man,
even. I'm a felon, so I can't even vote. So I have no horse in this race. So
yeah,
I just post both sides. This is what this person said. This is what this person said. It
yeah.
it just is what it is. And some dude, that was the only time I seen where some dude was just leaving me a hate paragraph, and I was just like, I'm like, okay, and he still didn't unfollow me. I was like, all right, man.
Oh god. You know what I do? It's like Hamza, if you know who he is, Hamza Ahmed said this concept of whenever somebody leaves a hate comment on your video, what I like to do is what Hamza explained doing. It's like throw the grenade and shut the door. What that means, you reply to his comment with something that's gonna piss him off, and then you never reply to anything else
I do
again.
that. I do
Yeah.
that. I do that. Sometimes I do that. I'll say something. I'm like, listen,
Yeah.
because it's the internet. It's the internet. The gloves is off, so there's no reasoning or understanding because the
Yeah.
person they don't. It's not like you're face to face. They can't
Yep.
tell that I'm over 6 feet
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
tall. I'm over 200 pounds, so I can't. There's not an intimidation factor. There's
Yeah,
no
yeah, yeah.
threat of violence or nothing like that.
A
So they're
lot of
gonna
people
say
are,
whatever they have to say. So you can't necessarily use that tactic on the internet.
yeah.
So you just
A
they're
lot
gonna
of
say something
people
terrible. You say something terrible.
a lot of people are tough on the internet, you know? Like
Very
someone
tough.
says he's gonna beat the fuck out of you, but he doesn't want to meet up in real life. It's like at that point, at those comments, you don't even reply. You know, like
Yeah,
what the fuck?
I done got so many death threats over a video I done posted and all that. Somebody people telling me I hate America, I need to be beheaded,
Yeah.
things like that, and I'm like, okay. So my regular life is silent as hell. I had a breakfast sandwich this morning. Like
Oh god. Yo, I'm not
so,
gonna lie, the internet is a funny place
it
sometimes, man.
is
What
a
the fuck?
hilarious place, man. So, but that engagement, that's
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I'm gonna tell you a secret as the content creator. That engagement what gets you paid.
Hell yeah,
Hate
man.
all
They
you
they're
hate all
giving
you
you
want.
free engagement at that point. Even like somebody disliking you on YouTube a video of yours, he's giving you free engagement. Like, I don't mind it. Like, what the fuck? Like, you know, somebody
Yeah,
can have a certain opinion of me. I don't really care unless like he's involved in my real life. I don't really care. So it's like, yeah, man. Why not? Why not take it? Well, I wouldn't block a hater. I would just ignore
I don't.
him. Yeah, I mean, I
I
do
don't.
because then you show that like okay, no, what you said offended me, so I don't want to see it anymore. It's like, if you don't care about it, it cannot offend you, really.
Yeah, because it's like you know what your real life and your real
Yeah,
surrounding is. And if it ever get that bad, it's like when they be saying like how they say when they say celebrities, oh, they're under fire, but the whole time it's just people commenting that they didn't like it. I'm like, yo, they probably not even looking at their phone. They don't even know that you guys hate them whatsoever. Knowing every interaction they probably have is somebody, can I
yep,
take a picture? Or can I whatever is like the a lot of people are stuck into the black mirror of the phone, so they interwove it into their life to where it
yes.
affects people mental health where you could just close the app.
Exactly,
You
that's
go
the
out.
thing I don't understand. Why don't you just close it if somebody pisses you off? Don't watch him. What the fuck? Like, wasting
Yeah,
time out of your day to try to prove this person wrong if he doesn't even know you exist. Like, what's the point of it? You're only harming yourself at that point.
yeah, this thing is nothing but numbers and metrics at this point, especially now that I actually make a living from this and it actually
Yeah,
pays my bills. So I didn't get into engagement farming. I don't like that engagement farming where people and now you're getting to the point where you're creating false narratives and whatever. So I don't get into
Mm,
false. I don't get into the engagement farming, but
yeah.
I also understand that if I bring up a topic to have a middle opinion on it, I can't have an opinion that goes right or left because
Hmm.
because because if you have this if you stay in the middle of it, it creates that engagement where people
Mm,
actually they 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 form their own opinion, and that's the point. You let the people in the comments form their own
mm.
opinion of what's
Yeah,
going
yeah,
on.
yeah.
You're basically taking the information, you present it out to them, and then they form their own opinion. And that's the point of social media. Let them be social on your media, and that's it.
Yeah. I've been trying to find one comment, but I'm not gonna find it. But there was one dude that like DM'd me. It's still in my message request somewhere lost. He said like, "Yeah, you look like a racist. By the way, Khabib Nurmagomedov beat the shit out of Conor McGregor." And I'm like, "When did I speak about that? I didn't speak ever about Khabib and Conor McGregor." So he's like, and I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm Team Khabib too," and I never replied to him again. It's like, and he was a black guy that he had some brain damage. He said, and he said that I'm making fun of his injury. And I'm like, I never said that. And he said like that because I left him on red. I think that he's not worth it. I think he's not worth it because he's saying that I'm a racist when I had interviews with people from Ukraine, New Zealand. I had people from the United States, like I'm having with you right now. People of different races. I speak to people, and I'm never like did anything racist. But this dude tried to find any insult. It's not like a racist, okay? He cannot
That's
call.
that's always that's always the first go to. And when it
Yeah.
comes to that, when somebody call you racist, I'm gonna tell you right now, don't explain yourself. When you explain yourself and
Mm,
say I'm not racist because of this, that, and the third, then they feel like, oh, I got you. Now I got him explaining why he's not racist. He's
yeah.
racist because he's explaining he's not racist. Don't explain yourself. If somebody
I
like you racist,
tried.
you just be like, all right, dude. I
Yeah.
guess that's what the fuck is going on. Like, what? Yeah, if that's
That
what
was
you,
my
if that's
mistake.
because once they have their opinion formed of you, is really no changing it. So it's oh well. If it's not affecting your bottom line, which is you being able to make money, you take care of your
Yeah.
family, and then it doesn't matter. People going
Yeah.
to come up with so many things because even I got called racist for posting
You?
Trump.
What the
Trump
fuck?
said something terrible, and then I got called racist. I got no the biggest thing that when Kamala said something wrong, and I have my own black women telling me I hate black women, like telling me I hate black women because she posted something wrong. I guess I wasn't supposed to. I guess I
Oh
wasn't
god.
supposed to show when she's messing up too. Like yo, we got to show both sides of this, and that's the problem. Nobody's willing to have a discourse on both ends. Nobody's dealing with right or wrong. They're dealing with this side or that side. They're not dealing with right or wrong because the side you can be on can be wrong too, but the
Mhm.
side you can be on can be right also. So they can be right sometimes, they can be wrong sometimes. Everything is not
Yeah.
perfect, and people don't understand that.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think it's like very feminine to get offended by it, and that like you hate the person because they offended you, and everything they say is wrong. It's like I can listen to somebody that I don't like, but I still can see if like what they're saying is good advice or
Yeah,
not.
you got to hear them out because they might say something
Yeah.
that's correct, regardless if I don't, even don't like them or not.
Exactly.
Is they, as they would say, a broken clock is right at least twice a day, once a day, whatever the hell that saying is. But at
Holy
least you
shit.
know what I'm saying. If you don't like a person, if they're right, they're right, no matter what. There's no the truth.
Mm.
The truth doesn't have
Yep.
the truth. The truth doesn't matter if you like it or not.
Mm. Well, let's get back to you. We also start talking about different things right now. But what was your main struggle throughout your journey in general?
Thinking everybody is my friend.
Oh shit, yeah.
Thinking everybody is my friend, and the reason why is because of once again growing up, being popular, and always being around friends. And as we're getting older, and we were seeing how our lives were turning out, where okay, we all might have been growing up with each other, but you chose to do this, I chose to do that, or trusting people because I used to always give everybody the
Mm.
benefit of the doubt. And I noticed when I didn't trust people first, I noticed when I gave people the chance
Mm.
to break their trust, is I would just put all my trust into them, and they're this and they're that and whatever, and that's what it's gonna be. And then I end up getting let down. I would let them build their trust. I
Yeah.
notice when I let them build their trust with me, then I have better results. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's thinking everybody my friend. Terrible business people, all that, and ran into the worst.
Yeah. You know, like choosing your friends and your woman wisely is what Dakota has said, because I think that have the most power. They have more power than your enemies, if you think about it, because they know more about you than your enemies do, than your haters do. They know your weak points and your strengths, and they can use them against you. So I think that choosing the people you keep around you is that one of the most important things, because you give them a lot of power in a sense. A hater cannot
Hmm.
have a power because you don't chit chat with a hater. You don't like tell him everything about you. You don't care to. So yeah, I think like a hater is pretty meek, if I'm being honest, because he's just hating on you for something that he doesn't even know. You know?
Yeah, not in the script. People like I started a vlog now. 2 weeks ago, I started a vlog. I'm doing a
Mm.
vlog page, whatever. I'm Before I got into it, it was like a good few months of planning
Mm-hmm.
for me to get into vlogs. Like I'm watching all the other
Yep.
people's vlogs, like DDG and his family,
Oh
and
shit.
I'm watching Kai. So now I'm watching all the younger people. I'm watching whatever, and I notice of how people will formulate a full opinion of your life from a vlog or from a clip. Like they're posting 10, 15 minutes of their life in a vlog,
Mm-hmm.
and people will just
Yeah.
automatically say this is your life or this is what's going on. Or you can have the relationship vlogs, especially. They're posting 10, 15 minutes of their life, which most of this is scripted. Most of this is people don't understand, most of this is
Yeah.
scripted. And they will say, oh, he hates her or she hates him. They're cheating on each other, this,
Man.
that, or this and the third. And some of these people that also learned that these relationship vloggers, they're not even together. They're just doing this for the money. Hey, we're gonna be. People don't understand it's entertainment and it's a show, but they personalize YouTube. They personalize YouTube because of the saying "you too." So people personalize it like, oh,
Yeah,
these are
man.
these people real life, and this is so. It's a yeah, I don't know. They formulate their own opinions off a clip, and you just gotta let them do that, and
Yep.
you make your money off of them.
Wanted to ask you, was there a point where you wanted to quit, or you were thinking about quitting this shit?
Um, Before I started in February, before I started in February, I'm like,
Mm.
man, I got a few thousand followers. I went viral a few times, but I was like, but it's really nothing. Nothing's coming up. It's like nothing.
Mm.
I got my first little TikTok check, and it was like $20. Like
Mm.
I wasn't even I didn't even start my YouTube. I started taking my YouTube seriously.
Mm.
Um I say about May that just passed.
Mm.
So my YouTube didn't even have 1,000 subscribers in May, and now I passed
What the fuck?
25,000 yesterday. Yeah.
You have like
So
25,000 subscribers now. It's like in May you had one. What the fuck?
so
Dude,
like
that's
I
so
only had
nice.
I didn't even have I didn't have 1,000. I had like 600 or something like that around like May.
Fucking
I would
hell.
say yeah around May. So
Holy shit.
I learned the quote unquote secret. I'll share it with you off camera of how to do this, how to build a platform.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I had to learn myself. So like when I didn't know what was going on, 'cause I went in head first of thinking just
yeah. Mm.
post and it's gonna work out, whatever. No, it is a
Yep.
formula to this. It's really you have to do things a certain way. So I just went and learned, and then I was like, okay, let me try this again. And then I saw that one is not overnight. Even though it may
Mm.
seem like it's
Yeah.
overnight, even though I kind of got my followers and subscribers pretty fast, it's still not overnight because like right now I'm starting out with my new vlog channel. I just started out 2 weeks ago. I'm only at 68 subscribers so far. I understand that it's gonna
Mm.
take time just because I may have 100,000 over here or whatever. Those ain't the same people that want to watch
Mm.
my life as opposed to just getting the news from me. So it's a totally different crowd. So I understand that it's gonna take time to build.
Yep.
So you have to do it every day. Don't quit.
Hmm. You know what I've noticed about people is that they hate long form content. You like to watch short form content, just like stories and Instagram reels. Like on my Instagram story, I get like 300 to 600 views. But when I post a YouTube video, it gets like 100 views in one day. It's like, okay, a lot, or like even like 50 views. But every single Instagram story like gets hundreds, and it's like, okay, I see it now. People hate or they can't pay attention for long enough. That's why they don't watch an hour-long podcast, 2 hour-long podcast that I do, for example, or they don't watch. Yeah,
What I understand now when it comes to long form content, what I understand now is people have to build that parasocial relationship with you.
yeah.
And when people build that parasocial relationship with you, when they want to keep seeing your face, when they feel like, oh, okay, we're friends, or I know this person,
Mm.
then they'll watch. So the shorts is just a
Mm.
commercial. The shorts are the
Yeah.
commercial, your long form content. So once they're
Oh.
like, okay, we've seen enough, and then they'll start watching long form content. That's what I'm learning with the
Mm.
vlogs. So, and also when it comes to long form content, you gotta understand you're gonna be more or less background music. That's really all you are. People like I got the Joe Budden podcast playing right now, and in the background, you just background your background music, background. And some people will catch it. They'll catch a few moments out of whatever you did in your vlog and your long form content. But that's kind of really it.
I never even thought about that. Yeah, it does make sense actually. I want to ask you about since your first ever upload on this channel on YouTube was 7 years ago. How would you say you have changed as a person in those 7 years, in the last 7 years?
I'm nice now. I take everything lightly now, as you probably see, that even from how I look
Yeah.
down to like my tone of voice or whatever, everything has changed completely since in those past 7 years, like all the way completely. And
Mm.
it went from me just having no hair to now I have hair, no glasses. I had glasses in that first video. I didn't have facial hair barely. Now I got facial hair.
Yeah.
Um, everybody that was around in those early videos not around. It's just me. It's just
Ah.
me and my girlfriend and my daughter and stuff. So it's
Holy
not
shit.
everything. Life completely changed 100%. Around that time
Mm.
when I did the first video, I was dead broke.
Mm.
That's dead
Yeah.
broke. Now I'm blessed. So I can take care of myself. I can
Mm.
do the things I want to do.
Mm. Ah, interesting. Was there someone that inspired you, even back then, perhaps?
Like as far as to do content creation or
Actually, I want this question to be a little more broad. Like, inspired you in the sense like 7 years ago, that's what like took you to where you are now. Was there someone that were you inspired by, perhaps a little bit?
okay. To really take my content serious, because that's basically what all my life is now. It's
Mm.
it's a person. His name is Mod the God, and
What's his
with
name again?
him,
I
Mod the God,
Oh, okay, okay,
Moddagod.
okay.
Some people may be familiar with him to call him Patty or whatever, but I don't know if you heard these content creators called Queen Naija and Clarence NYC. I don't
Okay.
these two people. So he was the first person I saw make money from content creation in real life. And the crazy part is, yeah, he's the first person I saw. So when I came home from prison, before I went to prison, I said I was shooting music videos. I shot his first 3, 4 music videos. So when I came home from prison, he ended up becoming a very popular YouTuber.
Mm.
He ended up becoming a very popular YouTuber. And when I first came home, he was the first person to reach out for me and say, I got some
Mm.
money for you, man. And he's like, I overpay you for your music video, whatever and stuff. I
Mm.
know you need to get back on your feet, whatever. So we're walking up to the building, he got a book bag on, and he's just like, yeah, man, I started doing becoming a YouTuber. I was like, what is basically like, what is a YouTuber?
Mm.
At that point in time, being a YouTuber wasn't really a thing. It was just people
Oh.
on YouTube. But being the actual title of a YouTuber,
Mm.
he was like, yeah, me and my friends, we end up blowing up. And
Mm.
my homegirl, she's a R&B singer now, and we've been blowing up, and this is where I get paid. He said, man, I travel the country, I travel the world, and it's like I just vlog and I make a lot of money from it.
Mm.
I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, man. He's like, I'll show you. We go upstairs into the building, opens up the book
Mm.
bag, pours out money. stacks of cash. He said, this is all from
Wow.
YouTube, bro. He's like, this is all from YouTube.
Holy
And then
shit.
he started telling me how to post. So I used that what he told me
Mm.
to push the artists that because remember I started managing. So I
Oh.
used that to push the artists. So then once I saw it was working for them and everything, and then what I told you in the earlier story how everything panned out with
Mm.
that, then I started trying it on myself. And this is the result of me trying the things that with them I tried it with myself.
Mm. Interesting. I
But
wanna
yeah, see
ask.
that's what I mean.
I wanted to ask you about Oba Water, your water brand, because it seems really interesting to me that how how you got the idea of starting a water brand. Because I know that a lot of people like Logan Paul and KSI did, like, I don't know, like Brime, which is a bunch of bullshit. A lot of content creators create very unhealthy shit like energy drinks, etc. I want to ask you about that, but I really do need to take a quick piss. So if you give me like 30 seconds, I'll be right back.
Oh, go do your thing.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, guys, if you're enjoying this episode so far, make sure to hit that like button. We're gonna wait for him to come back. We're gonna see a cut right now. We'll get back right into it.
oh.
Bon appetit.
Mhm.
Yo, I'm not.
Yeah.
So, I want to ask you about Oba Water. How did you come up with the idea of making a water brand? That's like very not typical, or like that's. I would expect you to make like all these other influencers make like all this crappy energy drinks, or like Mr. Beast made his burger and like something unhealthy, but water brand, that's really like interesting. What's the story behind
Water,
that?
water never go out of style. You could say what you could say. You could wake up one day and say, "Hey, I'm done eating candy," so you won't have a feastables, or one day I'm not gonna or I'm done. I'm gonna have a healthy lifestyle, and then you're done with fast food.
Yep.
But water is always going to be the constant thing. All
Yep.
water is always going to be the constant thing,
Can I
and
just stop you real quick? I'm gonna tell you a story. It's a quick one. It's like an uncle of mine. He's such an alcoholic. He drinks beer every day, more than water. He said he hasn't had a glass of water in like 7 years, and he says, you know why? He says like water is for cleaning yourself. It's not meant to drink. He drinks like fucking a gallon of beer a day, or like half a gallon. He drinks a lot of beer instead of water. Yo, that man is crazy. I don't know how
that's
long he's
great.
gonna live, but man, not very long with this stuff.
Yeah, man, that liver is screaming for its life.
Yeah, man, he's not had a day sober in like 7, 8 years. He said,
Ooh, wee, what the
"Fucking hell."
man? Yeah.
I can't remember a day that I met him that he wasn't drunk. He like
Hmm.
wakes up, and he has a glass of beer, then has a glass of beer with everything. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
that.
got a few cousins that's like that. Like
Oh
they just
shit.
that's their water, literally.
Yeah,
Man.
literally, that's what he said, man. What the fuck?
Uh,
Okay, well, let's talk about Oba Water.
so basically, with that, so yeah, I said I was thinking to myself, what would be the constant thing? Okay, now I have a little bit of a little money to do something. Okay, what would be the
Mm.
next logical step after that? Is opening a business. So what would be the next logical thing? And I was thinking, okay, what's a constant that people always use all the time that they need it? Water. So then it's water everywhere.
Yeah.
70% of the earth is water, so it's just water. So I'm looking, and when I was talking to friends about it, they could obviously they never will understand your ideas. Your friends or the people closest to
Yeah.
you will never understand it. And, the first response is, there's so many water companies, and that's the best thing about this
Yeah.
is there's so many. It can be so many. It's a choice of preference. There's
Mm.
8-9 billion people and growing, so
Yep.
preferences change. So it was just okay. What would make my water stick out more than everyone else? And it was like, okay, alkaline water, because now we're getting to
Mm.
niche water. Now we're getting to where it's niche,
Yeah.
and when people are now pivoting away from the junk foods and stuff, and they want to be more a healthy lifestyle now. That's what everybody's kind of going for, all natural, being
Yep.
grounded, things like that. So we can tap into that crowd. So what comes with that is the science. So most of the time, when I first started out, because I didn't really know anything about business. It was just okay. I'm just gonna start a business, and this was gonna happen until I end up meeting a guy named Giovanni. Um,
Mm,
he's from Manhattan, when New York. He's actually from like upstate New York, but he mainly is in Manhattan. He's like into finance and stuff like that. So he's telling me just happened to follow me
mm.
on Facebook randomly. It ran like really random. I thought he was a fake profile because all his pictures were like in front of like he was like in front of Eiffel Tower. He was like
Mm.
all like around the world, and he was like, "Nah, I'm working finance and stuff. He's like, I like your music and I like what you talk about,
Oh.
just general. He's like, I just follow you." And kind of find out he's in finance and business and stuff, and he ended up getting his MBA from Pace University. Like he's
Mm.
a business, whatever. So when I started talking to him about it, he said, "Yeah, it's gonna take you about 5 years before you even become anything." So I was
Mm.
thinking that I could just start it and go until I start really going in
Mm.
depth of what I need to do.
Can I ask
And
real quick, when did you get the idea of Oba Water?
I say probably around 2021. I would say 2021. So
Okay.
we started figuring out. I started coming up with the mock-ups and how it would look.
Mm.
And the first thing that always grabs your eye when you look at a product is the colors.
Yep.
What's the color gonna be? What is it?
Yep.
How are they gonna know what it is, even if they're a great distance from it? Like you'll know
Mm.
what McDonald's look like because you're gonna
Yeah.
see the red thing from the the red thing from the fries.
Yep.
You'll see that over the M because the M is thin, but you'll see the red first. And okay, that's
Yep.
McDonald's. Okay, this is that. So I made sure when I designed it, first thing gonna stick out is the yellow.
Yeah.
First
Yeah.
thing you're gonna see across, whatever. And people are like, well, we can't see the name when it's clear and everything like that. I said that's for the closer
Yep.
aesthetic of class. Because for some
Yep.
reason, people think things that are clear are higher in class.
Mhm.
I don't know, but that's just how the mind thinks. So the first thing you're gonna notice is the yellow on it. So I had to make sure I had a color that was different from the others that people noticed the product if it was sitting on a table. So throughout the past few years, it was just we went through a scientist, which was one of my friends that I knew from back in the day. He happened to change his life and randomly became a scientist. He was like, "Hey man, I see you working on this water. Hey, I'm a scientist now." I said, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, man, I work in the laboratory. I'm a real life scientist." He's like, "I can
Huh.
help you with it." So he actually developed. We have a patented filter called the Oba filter, patented because it uses nanotechnology to where it can take almost mop water and turn it into
Mm.
alkaline level water. And we got that patented. That's ready to go. So the next process is now we're gonna have to we're trying to do our own distribution. We don't we're not trying to go through all of these other
Mm.
companies to where they say, hey, we want this percentage. Eventually, if there's a buyout happening, okay, if they're talking something crazy, yeah, then we'll rock with it. But the next phase is the actual production and distribution
Mm.
of how do we set up the actual setup of taking the filter, taking the actual ionizers, and running it through from the water tanks and actually making the actual product. So that's what we're
Mm.
on next. I'm just waiting for the ionizer to come through because a lot of our stuff is in New York. I'm waiting for the bro to send it over, and then we're gonna have that, and then hopefully, I'll say by the end of the year. I was hoping by the end of October at least that we were gonna actually have products to get to the people
Mm.
to actual ship and do it ourselves and build this from the ground up.
Yep. Okay, that's interesting. So, what do you see with the future of Overwater? How do you see that?
I see it with the future of this is just being the first product of many of we're doing all natural products, all natural, healthy,
Mm.
clean products. Because we actually came up with a soda too, and that's going
Mm.
to be all natural, clean, less sugars,
Mm.
natural sugars, and we also came out with a THC water too for the people that like to party. So it's a THC water. It's a THC water that's actually done, and that's they actually tested that and everything. But we're
Mm.
trying to become an umbrella of products. So We also want to get into all natural makeups because we know that that's a big
Oh,
thing
oh,
of
interesting.
of cosmetics. So all natural cosmetics for women, um, all natural, baby powders, everything we're trying to do, everything all natural. So we want to be
Hmm.
the new Johnson and Johnson. We want to.
Yeah.
I don't say want to be. We are going to end up being that of our own all natural products. They need a new boy on the block, a new big boy on the block, and
Yep.
people are tired of one company owning everything.
Hmm. Yeah, I can absolutely see that. I want to ask you. I want to leave this for later on in the conversation, but I'm gonna ask you now. Tell us about the Barbarian Empire? What's the story behind that?
Okay, Barbarian Empire comes from this thing of, like I said, when I was in the streets, we used to call it Barbarian Season. The Barbarian Season, basically summertime, because in summertime that's when all the crime and shootouts was happening. It's getting
Ah,
hot,
yeah.
so we used to call it Barbarian Season because everybody acting like barbarian,
Yep.
acting crazy, and so that was like my one of my first logos. So when I changed my name to Oba the Great from my previous name, it's like, okay, how can we clean this up now? How can we make this seem more
Yeah.
regal? How can we make this seem more international and acceptable? And it was just empire. It's empire. It's a big thing. So many things can fall under an empire. So
Yeah.
that's why I just changed it, Barbarian Empire.
Hmm. What's the story behind that? So this is it basically. So what is the Barbarian Empire for people who may not know?
Barbarian Empire is just it's a collective of people or free minds. It's a collective of free minds moving
Hmm.
together where we're sharing ideas to make the world a better
Hmm.
place.
Hmm.
So Oval Water being one of the first products being produced under Barbarian Empire, which is a limited liability company legally,
Hmm.
of we're going for change. We're going for change. And
Hmm.
if we have to be barbaric in nature to make that happen, then that's what it be because there's
Yep.
no peace without war, and we understand that.
Okay, I understand. I understand that. I wanted to get into crypto as well. How did you get into crypto and when? Was that
Mm.
like process like scary for you, or did you go in it like confidently, like you're gonna learn about it?
Prison.
Oh.
Scammers. So what scammers was doing in prison, they were stealing people money and putting it in Bitcoin and hiding it. So
Oh.
they somebody put me onto it, and they were just like, "Hey, man, I think you should get into it. It's a rumor that Bitcoin is going to go up to $1 million a Bitcoin
Mm.
or whatever and stuff." At the point in time, it was probably like a few $100s. So when I finally came home, they used to call me and be like, "Yo, listen, man, did you check with the Bitcoin? Did you get Bitcoin? Did you get Bitcoin?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm gonna look into it." Never looked into it, and then
Mm.
Bitcoin finally shot up a little bit.
Yeah.
Shut up. Hey, yo, they called me. Bitcoin just went to this. I'm like, all right, man. It seems like I'm missing out. I have FOMO. So I start
Mm.
looking it up. I start looking up
Yeah.
documentary. Look at the first documentary. And the crime aspect, ironically, is what got me into it when I saw like, oh, these people were stealing millions and billions
Mm.
from people. Oh, this is crazy. This is what they're doing. And I start liking the technology, and then I start learning about money and what money is. Because most of the world, as you would say, 99% of the world don't know what money is, and they don't know how money
Yeah.
works whatsoever. They, spend it. That's it. They don't know how to make it grow. They don't know how to do other things of what you can,
Yeah.
the things that you can do with money. So I started getting into the documentaries. I would be in my room smoking, watching documentaries all day, and then finally said, "Okay, we're gonna get in. We're gonna get into cryptocurrency. We're gonna try this." Um, Opened up a Coinbase account first. Okay, and got some Bitcoin, a little bit of it. I saw it grow like $2. I saw it grow to. I said, "Oh, I made some money." So I said, "So I grow like $2. Okay, I made some money. Okay, this crypto thing is real. We're actually making money here."
Hmm.
So I end up start studying and looking into it and start looking at things. And the first thing that made me significant money was, I don't know what came first. I think I Dogecoin first. I got it when it was a fraction of a penny.
Mm. Oh
Got it
shit, man, you lucky guy.
I got that when it was a fraction of a penny. So that went crazy, crazy.
Mm.
That went crazy.
Yeah.
That was life. That was I thought I had the most money I had in my life at that point in time. It wasn't life changing
Uh,
money at that point in time. I had the most. That was before it even went even crazier. So I'm like, okay. So now me put it more into more of these other accounts and see what happens. So then the next thing that happened was
mm.
Shiba. So
I've heard about
I
that,
got
man.
okay. So with Shiba Inu, I ended up getting Shiba Inu before it was even before it even had a ticker, before it had
Mm.
a white paper, before it had a name to it, before it had anything. We actually the actual I don't know if it was the developers. I don't know how we this was back when it'd take almost a day for a transaction to happen on the blockchain, or sometimes
Yeah.
these exchanges that just keep your money. So I'm
Definitely,
talking about
yeah.
this is the wild west. So I'm talking about when you spending $10 on Shiba, we was getting millions of it. So we end up having billions of Shiba, like billions of it.
What the
So
fuck?
when I think the white papers came out, what they called the wolf papers actually,
Oh,
and I still got it saved in my phone on my iCloud to this day because I was one of the first people to actually receive the actual wolf papers, and basically showing the roadmap of what it had. Went crazy. Woke up on my account. Woke up the first day I made $75,000. The first
oh
day.
man.
And I'll probably never get this video. This girl probably got the video on her phone, and the girl I was dealing with at the time, she was laying next to me, and she was just like, I looked at my account, and I was like, oh, this shit crazy. And then she actually filmed my moment of when I looked at it, and she's like, how much did you make
Yeah.
today? I said 75,000, showed her it, and then my friend he showed me $250,000 because he bought more, and then it just kept going up and up, and
Man.
then it was like 75 a day. And I was just
That
like,
that
"Oh, this shit is crazy."
that
Like this
feeling
shit is.
must be crazy, man. What the fuck?
It didn't. It didn't feel real. It didn't feel like it
Ah.
was happening. And
It did not feel like a real moment. You felt like it was not real.
cause it's not tangible cash.
Yeah.
Until I put some in the bank and then I took out some
Yeah.
untangible cash and was having stacks
Yeah.
of money. Like everybody wants the feeling to put money to your ear.
Yeah.
Everybody wants the little, the rapper thing. Everybody wants the. So I did that. I did that just to see, and I put it. I took it out and put it back in the bank.
Yeah.
I said, okay, this is real, and this is what's going on. And then from there, a lot of people don't tell you the gift and the curse that come with money.
Mm. What do you
You
mean
can
by that?
be the gift and the curse what come with money is how they say when people get money they change, but no, when people
It's an
get money, the
amplifier.
people around you change. People
Oh.
around you change because they feel like most people feel like they're entitled to it, and then you find out what people will do for money, and then you find out,
Yeah.
yeah, it's whoo, like it's so crazy. Like it can, if somebody wanted to curse you
Mm.
bad, they'll curse you with money. They curse you with money and friends. As
Mm.
they would say, money and friends. So they'll say, "Hey, man, I hope you become a millionaire with a lot of friends."
Yeah, man.
And you're gonna find out the worst of human nature. You're gonna find out how bad humans can actually be
What do you mean by
when it
that?
comes.
Do you have like an instance when that happened? Or like a person that disappointed you?
Okay, I got disappointed with a friend where Sheba was still no, this wasn't Sheba. This was Polygon. Polygon was going up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So my friend my friend at the time, he ended up getting kicked out of his girlfriend house, whatever.
Mm?
So he ended up coming to my house. Yo, bro, I need somewhere to stay for a while, whatever. And so, man, I got you. And he was like,
Mm.
man, she got my clothes, she got everything. So at the time, I was rapping, doing music, and
Mm.
my name was getting big in Europe, and so I was getting a lot of free merch. So I'm like,
Oh
me and
man.
him was around the same size. Here, man, take this, take
Mm.
all that. I ain't wore none of this. This is merch, bro. You can have all this, whatever. And he was just like, nah, I need this, I need that. I said, bro, I'm about to I said make a Coinbase account, and I'm gonna give you I said, I'm gonna give you these tokens. And I'm just like, yo, you just cash it out. You can cash it out, and then you know what I mean, do your thing. You're all right. You can say we got it. Because at the time, me and him wasn't really. He was just going out doing his own thing or whatever. And I should have knew that the reason he wasn't even around me was because we was already making money, and he was already jealous of what was going on because he didn't have them. But we were sharing with him. We were, you know what I mean? Here, man, if I got it, you got it here.
Oh,
And he didn't like it because he felt like as a man that should no other man take care of. You know what I mean? We were
yeah,
like,
yeah,
man,
I
we looking out
understand
for
that.
you, man, whatever. So we was also putting people in a position to get more money, and he didn't. He wanted to find out his own way of getting money or doing this. And we're like, man, this is what's working. This is what's going to work. That way, it's not going to work. This is the way that's going to work, and it's working for us. It's definitely going to work for you. This is it. We got it. It's like if we all know something is working, and we're bringing everybody on a boat. Say, hey man, let's go, man. This the fastest boat. Let's go. And you're like, nah, I'm about to go ride in my own boat. Then your boat sink. Now you're mad because you didn't get in the boat with us, and
Yeah.
then we're already too far ahead to where we can't even turn back to come get you. So that's basically what type of situation was. So when I gave him, I said probably a few $1,000s in the crypto. I like, yo, I set it aside, I put it in a separate crypto account and said, hey man, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you whenever you make your Coinbase account. Me and him arguing at night. He said, man, y'all trying to act like y'all look. He said this. It threw me off and it still confuses me to this day. He said, yeah, y'all walking around with all this money, eating in our faces, showing off. He said, you just want to give me money just to show off. I'm like, bro, it's only me and
What
you in
the
the house.
fuck?
What are you talking about? Like it was weird. Like his brain clicked. It was just like, oh, it was just weird.
So he
You
said
know, you
like
got
you were trying to give him money to show off. Is that what he said?
yeah, so I can say that I did something for
What the fuck?
him.
Why
So I
would
can
you
go
give?
around.
If you wanted to show off, why would you give money to somebody? What the fuck,
Yeah, so
man?
no, so basically, yeah, that basically he was saying I was giving him money so I can tell other people that
Oh,
yeah, I looked out for him, I did this for him and this.
oh.
I'm like, dude, I don't even talk to nobody. I was like, what? I was like, that's crazy. I was like, have you ever heard that from me before? Have you ever seen me do that? He said, no, but that's what people be doing, and that's what you trying to do to me. I said, bro, man,
Yeah,
go lay down. Cause it was like late at night when we get
yeah.
into an argument. Mind you, me and him never got into an argument a day in our life.
Ah, yeah.
Never got into an argument day. So this was like I'm throwing it back. So he also does music. And I was doing music at the time too. And I said, man, I'll go back to manage because he's the artist I used to manage. And he stopped
Yeah.
working and stopped doing what he's supposed to do. So that was also great too because he ended up going to jail and then coming back out to seeing that I was the man in music instead of him. So
Oh.
that was also a key that played into it because he was like, "Man, I'm just trying to get back into the music, whatever and stuff." I said, "Well, I'll call the engineer over." I said, "I'll pay him." I said, "Y'all lock in and do it." I said, "I'm not gonna be here a lot because I'm gonna be whatever traveling." I said, "I can teach you how to record yourself. I'll do all right in the morning."
Mhm.
It's like, all right. So later that night, he knocked on my door and was just like, "Hey, yo, bro, one of my friends from my city, because he's from a different city. One of my friends from my city, man, he here in town because he drive trucks. I want you to I mean, can he stay here for the night, man?" I said, "Yeah, man." I said, "If you take anything, that's on you. If you steal, that's on you, man." I was like, "Man, yeah, you can stay, man." I was like, I'm used to it. Like I said earlier, me growing up, I'm used to people staying,
Yeah.
whatever, whoever need help, come on in. We got you. This open door policy. So I say probably like early in the morning, 8, 9 o'clock. The friend knocks on my door. He
Mm.
said, "Hey man, I'm gonna show my appreciation. I'm gonna take you out to breakfast. Breakfast on me."
Yeah.
So he take us out to breakfast. So then my friend make a slick comment like, "Damn, bro, he ain't never did that for us. He ain't never took us out to breakfast. He ain't never did this." And dude was like, "Man, I'm just trying to show my appreciation, man. Like he like if people
Oh,
don't do." He said y'all wouldn't do this for me.
yeah.
He was like, y'all. He said y'all wouldn't. He said y'all wouldn't have did this for me. He said y'all would have been like I would have had to go get a hotel or something like that. He said,
Mm.
bro, bro, show me hospitality. So I show respect back.
Yep.
So we get back that couple $1,000. I say, yo, open. I say, yo, I said to him privately, "Hey, yo, can you go get the Coinbase account, bro? Set up your Coinbase account so I can send that to you, man. Make sure you straight." So then, fucking, he didn't. He never seen like large amounts of money.
Uh-huh.
That few $1,000s turned into over 20 something, about $30,000 overnight. It went to a thing.
Yeah.
So my account grew crazy. So I know his account grew something. His account grew crazy. So I knew mine grew even crazier.
Hmm.
So I'm saying, yeah, I'll still send that to you because it's still the same amount of tokens, regardless of the fact it was still the same amount of
Yeah.
tokens. I still send that to you. There's nothing. That's where everything went crazy.
Hmm.
Man, you just trying to front on me. Ain't nobody. Come on, bro. You just trying to play in my face now. I said, "What, you don't believe I'm about to send you this amount of money, bro?
Man.
I'm damn near rich at this. I'm like, yo, both our lives just changed right now, right now.
Mm.
So imagine when
Yeah.
you're getting a life changing amount of money,
Mm.
and then this is the moment where it starts off with is your friend losing his fucking mind because he can't believe he's getting a large sum of money
Mm.
from it. And I'm like, here, this is yours. And we're arguing. We're going back and forth. I'm like, bro, just download it. Throughout the whole argument, I'm like, just download the app.
Hold on a
What are
second.
we arguing for?
Wait. I don't understand. So he was arguing and cussing at you because you were trying to give him money and he was
Yeah.
angry about what the fuck. If somebody wanted to give me money, I was like, okay, safe, okay, thank you. And I'm like, I wouldn't argue with that person. I'd be
So
grateful.
so it started. So everything started coming out during the argument. The producer's coming while we're arguing,
Uh-huh.
and he's like, "Man, what y'all yelling about, bro? I ain't never seen y'all do this." I was like, "Bro, I'm trying to give him this bread. Yeah, I mean, so he can get whatever. Nah, y'all just want to show off. That's all y'all been doing for the past few months is eating in our faces, man. Y'all been running around, traveling and stuff, and doing whatever." Like
Mm.
he was just saying everything. I said, "Damn, this nigga just hating. Like this is crazy." And the producer
Yeah.
looking at him like, "What?" He was like, "I wish I
Um.
would have had a friend that look out for me and ever do this." He said, "Yo, you can't be serious right now."
Mm.
And his friend with the trucks was looking at him like, "Man, you're bugging, bro. Like you're tripping." I said, "Bro, I'm trying to make sure you straight. Like, yeah, like yo, I mess with you.
Yeah.
Like me and you was cool. I like, yo, I'm trying to make sure you straight."
Mm.
And he didn't. He
Mm.
ended up walking off. F y'all, whatever and stuff. Took his phone, walked off
Ah.
with my clothes on his damn body, saying that y'all ain't never did nothing for me with my clothes on his body. And that was the
Mm.
last time I seen him. That was a few years ago. And
Mm.
that shocked that. To this day, I'm still
Mm.
perplexed of like what
I,
was
I
going
don't
on
understand.
with this
Yo,
mind.
so you didn't end up giving the money because you didn't want it. Is that correct?
Yeah.
What the fuck? And like,
He's
man,
probably still never downloaded Coinbase on his phone to this day. He probably never got he probably never got the app on his phone. Because he
fucking
kept
hell,
saying, "Oh yeah,
yo. I heard
right
this
here."
this quote from Andrew Tate. He said, "Never say no to money." And I'm like, okay, unless it's immoral. But it's like, what's immoral about this? Like your friend trying to, like, help you out, and
Uh,
you insulting him that he's trying to flex on you or something.
I'm
It's like,
for real.
man,
That's how he took it. Like I was trying to flex on him, trying to show
uh,
him like, "Oh, this ain't nothing to me. This for you. Like here, take that little." Like dog, I didn't go about it no type of way, anything like every. That's why I'm happy there were people around to actually see that,
yeah,
to actually see like that. Because if he wasn't around, I would have thought to myself, because sometimes I was thinking to myself, like, was I wrong? Was I tripping? Is something wrong with me? But to have the
yeah,
confirmation from the person that was around to be like, no, dog, he would treat. He did like he asked me like, was he on drugs or something? Like he's like, I don't get it. Like, what was whatever. He was like, yo, it was. He's like, yo, the issue. He's like, I would listen to certain things he was saying. He said the issue deeper than the money. He was
mm,
like, you didn't do anything to him. I'm like, yeah, I
yeah,
didn't mess with his girlfriend or I didn't never, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like this what type of argument it was. Like if I was to
mm,
steal from him or mess with his girlfriend or whatever stuff. He's like, yo, he was like, it was none of that.
yeah,
He said, I think it was he said, bro, I think it's just the popularity. He said sometimes
oh,
where you say, hey man, like sometimes if you're number one, right, and you want somebody to be number
yeah,
one with you, like, hey man, we could share the
yeah,
trophy. Sometimes they're like, nah, we don't. I want the trophy. And
Man.
if you have to come in last place for me to get first place, then that's the way I'm going to get the trophy, and that's
Mm.
basically what type of situation it was.
Hey, man, if I've been in a situation, man, it's like I want to give my friend some money, they get him, and he's like, nah, man, you trying to flex on me, blah blah blah. He's starting cussing at me. I'm like, okay, man, fuck you then. Like, what the fuck? I just kick him out because he's
Yeah,
being a dickhead. But it's like,
but that's what was so
oh,
shocking to me because usually like with people, I don't argue with people, I don't
mm,
go back and forth. But because
yeah,
I have so much love for you, we and him arguing, I don't
yeah,
yell, I don't really do none of that stuff. So for me and him to argue, it's like, bro, I'm telling you, I'm like, yo, showing you so much love I got
yeah,
for you. That's crazy. It's
yeah,
crazy. And
yeah,
like it's like when it come to money, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like I done gave people money to like if they was behind on rent or they needed to move, I done gave
yeah,
people money to move and then they wouldn't speak to me again because they feel like they got over.
yeah,
Like I gave somebody some money. I gave somebody some money because they said they were behind on bills.
yeah.
But they lied. They lied to me, and it wasn't even $1,000, and I haven't spoken to him since this day. I'm like, no, all you can do is ask. I would have here, here. You know what I'm saying? Like people did. A lot of people did that. A lot of people, and that's why I got a lesson from somebody who also ended up having a lot of money. Said that was just the price of your friendship.
Oba, het had een
That's how much it
actie
costs for
gekregen.
y'all not to be friends.
That's just a crazy story. Like, what the fuck? Holy
Yeah,
shit.
and it's bro, it's what
Yeah,
I don't, especially dealing with like with females and that.
yeah.
Man, man,
So,
anything for the money, man. Anything for the money. I had girls leave their families behind. Like I didn't even know they
what
had
the fuck?
families. I didn't even know
Holy
they had
shit.
families. Type of stuff. Like yo, you got a boyfriend? Nah.
Man,
Whole time they have a husband and a whole family, leave their family behind, thinking they about to get what? That's crazy. And I have women do that a lot, and I'm like,
yeah, man.
dog, it's crazy.
I mean, some women do a lot of things for money, or for guys with money, which is like interesting and impressive in some cases. Like how far they're willing to go. I wanted
Yeah,
to ask
it's
you, how would someone get into crypto in 2024 slash 2025 since it's coming out? Like nowadays.
how they would get in crypto.
If you were to start all over again now in today's age in crypto, how would you do it?
I mean, now they got commercials for the barrier entry. So my barrier entry, if I was to get in crypto now, 9 times out of 10, it'd probably end up being through Cash App. Cash App is
Oh,
probably Cash App is going to end up being everybody's first barrier to entry to crypto, first entry point to crypto because almost everybody has Cash App on their phone, and you can just convert your cash right into Bitcoin right then and there, and
mm,
that's the first thing people see, along with a commercial. Or if you never heard of cryptocurrency before, 9 times out of 10, within I say within 2 weeks, you're gonna hear it at some point.
mm,
Somebody gonna talk about it. Somebody gonna say Bitcoin this or something like that, or the Super Bowl gonna come up and you're gonna see a crypto commercial. Or if you're into
mm.
MMA, you're gonna
Yeah,
see
yeah,
you're gonna see V Chain onto the thing.
yeah.
Now the advertisements is there. Crypto.com arena where the Lakers play with LeBron James. You're gonna
Yeah.
see crypto at some point. So you're gonna
Mm,
be like, oh, okay, what is this? At some point, you're gonna have a what is this? And then your first
mhm.
barrier entry 9 times out of 10 is going to end up probably be Cash App.
You know, like I don't even like use Cash App because not like support in my country, in Europe, for example.
Mm,
Yeah.
wow.
So yeah, but like, what coins do you think is good for people to start in, for example?
Um, Bitcoin, Litecoin. Litecoin is going to be
Ah.
the silver to the gold of Bitcoin. Um,
Mm.
Algorand.
Mm.
Algorand is going to be used to actually scale companies. Um, Everybody's favorite XRP, and then the little
Mm.
homie XLM.
Mm.
Cardano.
Mm.
Um, I'm trying to name like the more mainstream ones. And Ethereum. And
Ah.
Ethereum, yeah. Those 9 times out of 10 gonna be the first. The first two you're always going to see is Bitcoin and Ethereum for
Yeah.
sure. Those are the first two. So for people that started down, those first two you're gonna see because those are the biggest.
Yeah. What do you think about crypto and Ethereum? Which one do you think is superior?
I mean, they both do two different things. So
Hmm.
when it comes to Bitcoin is going to be the reserve currency. That's just going to be that's just the standard. That's the first thing. That's the thing that made digital commodities worth money. So that's always going to be the gold. And then when it comes to Ethereum is going to be used for the internet, how to pull apps
Hmm.
together, it's the first infrastructure. It's the first internet infrastructure. This is the Google. This is the this is the Yahoo. This is the actual internet. It's the main. It's going to be the main server, and then people are going to keep building off of that. Because regardless of you
Mm.
seeing Coinbase have their own coin or whatever base that's still built off Ethereum. We're seeing XRP
Mhm.
building a side chain into Ethereum so you can go into the internet. So basically, Ethereum is becoming the internet.
Mm. Why do you think some people, there are two groups of people, one that calls cryptocurrencies in general, they call them either gambling or a scam? Why do you think people call them that? Some people have this like misperception about crypto. They either call it gambling or scams. Why do you think that is?
Me- Meme coins. It's just meme coins, banking on
Ah.
meme coins, which is gambling and scam.
Also.
So, and but that's what meme coins. That's what they're for. Literally, they're for that.
Mm.
That's for that game you want to play. That's
Yeah.
that's when you want to say, hey man, the first ones that get in and the first ones that get out. Like
Mm.
that's what they're for. That's why they're meme tokens, and that's something the stock market never had. It never
Yep.
had meme companies or anything like that. But that's what that's for. That's for, hey, if you can get popular enough and you can build this how you can make
Hmm.
money. It's the new age shell company.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, that's the gambling part. What do you think people call them scams?
Because for the people that actually got scammed by things that don't have no utility. So they're using the meme tokens that have no utility. They're telling you, hey, this is Dookie coin. This is Dookie coin, and the actual logo is a turd. They're telling you this is Dookie coin, and you thinking that you're gonna make $10 million off of Dookie coin, and it
Uh-uh.
doesn't absolutely nothing. Or it doesn't do shit, as they would say,
Mm.
and you
Mm.
think that you're gonna make $1 million in a rug pool.
Ah, yeah, interesting.
So that's where the scams came from, and it
Mm.
came from the meme token era. Is the actual scams, and that's just like anything. Like I was saying earlier,
Mm.
the new age shell company. Meme tokens is the new age shell company, and that's what shell companies did. People are investing in these shell companies that never existed. When it happened, they got their money took. That's the part. That's a part of currency. That's the part of technology. That's the part of how things work in the world. If you can't
Mhm.
scam from it, then it has no use. If you can't use anything you can't use anything in a legal way, then it's not useful whatsoever. And
Huh.
illegal
I
things show how things work. And every great fortune is
mm,
built from a great crime.
I never thought about it that way. Interesting.
Uh,
Well, do you think that the physical dollar will vanish in the future?
yeah,
How
yeah,
come?
yeah. It's gonna because huh, how fast the world is gonna be moving.
Mm.
Because now that we're using, I mean, you can send money in a second. You can't just send a stack of money
Yeah.
over in a second because even down with global trade, that's where XRP comes in. Because
Hmm.
XRP is actually going to be ledger handling global trade. Back then, back then when they did the trade, they had to make sure. I want to say back then it's going on now.
Hmm.
It take almost 3 weeks for a transaction to happen because they actually have to
Yeah.
physically fly that money over there, or they have to see if they have that money in their denominations, and nine
Mm.
times ten they don't. So that money had to physically be over there because they
Mm.
used to have to do it with gold, but now because they used to have to do it with gold instead of flying all this gold over here, that's where our actual cash came from.
Hmm.
So they didn't have to keep doing lugging this heavy gold and tons of gold, so they can
Yep.
actually use the cash denominations. So now it's just the next evolution, digital.
Hmm.
I ain't even got to see you. We could look at each other right now, and there'll be other people up on the screen. We're all having a business deal for Global Tech or whatever our company is, and say, okay, listen, we're going to do a $13 billion deal. Um, Shake hands, sign a paper, it be in your account in 3 seconds.
Man,
As opposed of
yeah,
hey, we're going to fly the private jet out to this island right here. We're going to get this money over here. Then we're going to get this money over
yeah,
here, and then send it over and then put it in your bank over instead of all that. Then we just send it to each other.
yeah. It's much quicker this way. Well, I
Yeah,
wanted to get into some rapid fire questions before we wrap up.
absolutely.
Ready? So,
Yeah.
what's the best advice you've been given?
The best advice I've been given is
Tough
take your
one.
time and do it. Take your time and do what you love.
Ah,
Take your time and do what you love because if you keep rushing, and especially rushing doing things that you don't love, you are going to get the most terrible results. So take your time and do what
mm,
you love. And people, it sounds easier said than done. But if you really love something, eventually you'll make it profitable because the world is about money anyway. You have to make money in order to survive. But at least do it. At least do what you love and make the money. It's going to take time to do it, so that's why you have to take your time.
damn, man. I should. I feel like I can use that advice. Interesting. What's
Absolutely.
what's the worst advice you've been given? This is a good one.
Oh man, people telling man I'm gonna just keep it general, man. People just telling you how to do things they never did.
Oh shit, yeah. Yeah, that's the best one, man. You know, like for example, this is about my parents. I have no grudge about, on them. I know that they want the best from me. But for example, they tell me I once had I was on a carnivore diet for about 20 days, and I didn't eat anything but meat. And they say that, oh, you this is unhealthy, only eating meat. I'm like, mom, I did my research. Come on, mom. But like, yeah, man, yeah, don't take advice from people that never done it before. That's interesting, man.
Yeah, cause people they put their fears on you. It's up.
Yeah,
I mean, it's human nature to go out here and
yes.
discover and try to figure it out. So if you fail at it, it's easy to fail. Just fail forward. That's it. Fail forward
Yep.
and learn from whatever you fell from. And that's what most people are scared to do. People are scared to fail. And that's why they
Mm,
become haters in your comments. That's why
yeah.
they become haters in your comments and haters in your own dog. They scared to fail. They're scared
Yep.
to actually go buy the webcam, go buy the mic, go buy
Yes, yes.
set up the Rumble account and say hey and reach out to somebody with followings and take a chance. Hey man, you want to do an interview? People are scared to go do that. You did that, and we have an interview. We sit
Yeah,
here chilling and
exactly.
and chopping it up. So you got to understand how many people that are just scared to go do that, scared to try, and nothing beats a failure but a try. And the worst thing that could happen, oh man, bro, I'm doing
Mm,
something later, or I'm doing, I can't do it, or whatever. Or hey, we here. So you still went and took the chance, and people are scared to take the chance. I'm not scared to lose, and what taught me that was prison because prison is the worst losing that you can do outside of dying. Like yeah, that's the worst losing. That's the worst loss you can take is go to prison. And now that I felt the worst loss that you can, it's nothing else but wins. You can try anything.
mm. You know what? Man, this is actually a good one. That does make sense a lot. You know, I feel like even if like I would say that even if you've got a physical job, like don't let that be like success. Why don't you can go home from the job and work on a side business, side hustle? Even if you have a job, okay, and you're happy in that job, they pay good. But why can't you try to make something on the side? Because people they go home from their job and they want to just relax and they don't want to do anything else because they get complacent or because they get comfortable because the job is paying good enough. And I feel like that's the biggest killer of man when he settles too early. I believe.
Yeah, they're trapped in the matrix. Your boss will never pay you to be their
Yeah.
neighbor. So a lot of
Yeah.
people may feel they get enough money, but you like, damn, you're working
Yeah.
for, let's say, a good paying job. You're working for $100,000 a year,
Mm.
while there's people that's making that a week. There's
Yeah,
people that's
man.
making people easily making that
Yeah.
shit a day, and
Yeah.
they get to go on vacations whatever they want. Like
Yeah.
the point of this whole life thing of being in this system is freedom, and people are scared of freedom, so they rather I'll
Yeah.
just work, I'll just do my job. That's fine. But at some point, you're gonna want to achieve freedom where you say, okay, I'm gonna wake up at this
Yes.
time. And I want to go do this. I want to go do that. Maybe today I want to wake up and grow some potatoes today, and grow some potatoes today, and that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. As we're watching David Beckham do that in
Yeah.
real time, he
Yeah.
eventually he got his own business. He owns Inter Miami soccer team,
Yeah.
football, football, soccer in America. But he owns Inter Miami, and now he's a boss, and he was able to have
Mm.
Messi come in and help him. Now he has unlimited funds to do whatever he wants to do, and he decided he
Yep.
wants to farm. That's his freedom. That's his fun. And a lot of people are stuck in
Yes.
the matrix, and sadly, most people are going to die not living outside of that
Yeah.
freedom. And and I will also say it's not our job to
Mm.
break people out the matrix. It's not our job to break people out the matrix because the first thing they're gonna do is resist, and
Mm.
that can be dangerous.
Yeah.
You can say somebody in your job, damn, why are you working here? You've been working here for 20 years and you don't want to do anything different. They're like, all right, we got to get this person out of here. He's problematic.
Yep.
Just because
Definitely.
just because you're the glitch in the matrix that
Yeah.
they don't want.
Absolutely.
So everybody's not gonna have that mindset. And that was one of the
Yep.
hardest things I learned what came with money and came with doing what I wanted to do was people don't want to get out of this. They don't want to, whatever. It's
Yep.
only a chosen few that want to actually go and try. It's hard, but eventually it'll get done.
Mm. You
Eventually it'll get
know,
done.
the thing that changed it for me, like completely my mindset about these things, is when I was trying to network online and finally meet a person in Prague, which is the capital city of my country. So it's like a 2 hour train drive. I went to Prague with like $50 on me, and I was like, I was invited. I was invited by this guy that was doing crypto, I believe. No, no, no. He was doing forex. Sorry, not crypto. And he invited me for coffee. And so I was like, okay, $50 is more than enough for coffee. I went to Prague. And I met him at that coffee shop. I saw a Porsche 911 in the parking lot. I knew that was his. I knew that was his. I just could have. I didn't even ask him about it, but I knew that was his. So I was like nervous. I was like shaking because I really this guy is 18 or 19 and he has a Porsche 911. He's like 2 years older than me. I'm like, okay, what the fuck? He must know something that I don't know about. And so I went there, and yeah, I bought a coffee. It cost me like $4 for a small espresso. Okay, that was okay, no worries. I saw that dude order a fucking ribeye steak because it was also a restaurant, not just a coffee shop. And when I looked at the bill when he went to the toilet, it was like $220 or something like that. And I was like, man, in my city, a ribeye steak costs $30. This is 220. Like, at that point, I was like, and he's eating this every day, and he didn't even look at the receipt. He didn't even look at the price. That was what like I was thinking. Okay, man, you know what? There are people who just really don't care about $200, and they can eat this every day, whenever they want. And I'm like, man, $200 is a lot of money to me, and at that point, it was. And so I was like, man, okay, I need to find a better job because finding a job that in my country the normal salary is like $1,000 to $1,500 a month. It's like, man, I cannot do this for the rest of my life. So I need to find something. So that was the pivotal point that changed my mindset towards money. There are people who money is so worthless to them. It's like, and I'm supposed to work a month, 30 days, let's say, for physical effort for $1,500 when somebody makes that an hour. It's like that just concept seemed crazy to me.
It's crazy, and a lot of people will never get that. And you know
Yeah,
what happens now? They always say, change your group of friends, or change the
yeah,
people around, and it'll change your life. And that's what happened. You got now you've seen it
yeah,
personally. They say, think it, see it, touch it, then obtain it.
yeah,
So now you've seen it physically, like wow, that is possible. And then people say, well, how do you do it? How do you quote unquote make it? How do you whatever?
yeah,
You literally have to become what you want to be. And
yeah,
people are like, what does that mean? Or how does that whatever? You have to start making the steps.
yeah,
So you say, okay, well, I want that. Okay, I gotta get a better job. Okay, getting a better job may require more education, or you
Mm.
have to go over here, or you might have to leave your country or your city to go do that, and you're starting to become what you want to be. The next thing you know,
Mm.
now you got your Porsche 911. You just like, wow, that happened. And I have a
Yeah.
Porsche 911, and I also have this car over here, and now I have this car over
Yeah.
here with it. Like it
You
that
know, you know
you
what
become who
was the
you are.
craziest thing about it? That dude was only a year or 2 years older than me. I'm 17 and he's like 18 or 19. I don't know exactly, but he's like he just left high school and he has a Porsche 911, a 200 like $180,000 car. It's like what the fuck? Like I cannot do that right now. So it's like okay, and that something needs to change. Like what the fuck, man?
Yeah, it's and
Uh,
but you also have to understand too is some people are also anomalies too. This
yeah,
isn't the we're dealing with 8 9 billion people, so sometimes it may feel like there's a
yeah.
lot of people your age or a little bit older than you that have money or is rich,
Mm,
but it's like nah, it's a pure capita thing. You're gonna have a lot. You're gonna have millions of rich people when there's billions of people on
mm.
Earth. So
Yes.
he's also an anomaly by being young,
Hmm.
and it may take you a little longer, but you still have the goal of getting there. It may
Yes.
take you. It may happen next year, or it may happen when you're 50 years old. But you
Mm,
still. It just depends how fast that you fail forward, how many times
yeah.
that you actually go try and actually make it happen. And in the United States, the average millionaire is 50 years old.
Mm,
So these people that spend more than half of their life, well, actually most of their life, because their life expectancy is around 73 or something like that. So they only
mm,
get to be rich for 20 years, but they
mm,
spend 50 of the years trying that, or not even trying that. They may spend the next 10 years trying it or whatever. So as you're trying to do this, don't get down on yourself and be like, well, damn, I'm
yeah.
21. It didn't happen yet. Damn, I'm 25. It didn't happen.
Mm,
Damn, I'm 30. It didn't happen. No, keep
mm,
trying. It's eventually going to happen, but then you're going to realize how much learning and experience that you got
yeah.
along the road. You're gonna have so many memories of the things you try. Like, damn, I remember when I made $15,000 that one time. We went over here and did this, and it was fun. I don't have the 15,000 anymore, but it was still fun when I did this or whatever. So cherish the memories that you're gonna have
Mm,
along the journey because it's gonna be a journey.
yeah.
But then again, something can happen tomorrow, and then next, you're a millionaire. So it's just how life works.
Yeah.
It's on random. It's really
Mm,
on random. But don't get down on yourself if it takes longer than you think it needs to be.
yeah. It's like you know what? In a way, it's also scary because I see like people like 14 or 15 making 10K a month, and I'm like, that dude never had a job. Never know how he won't know how the average person how shit his life is. I only have one job in my life so far, so
Mhm.
I'm still like very new to this. I can imagine what it's like to do it every day, long term. But it's like, man,
Yeah,
like getting rich like in your teenage years also seems a little scary because then you're not
it's a
appreciative
curse.
of it. You're not appreciative of the common man that works for you. You know.
Yeah, it's a curse. Like it'll block you out because I noticed when I started making money of how much it isolates you because no one else can relate.
Mm.
No one else can
Yeah, yeah,
relate,
yeah.
especially being that young. Nobody's going to relate. Especially being under 30 with that type of money, no one's going to relate
uh,
because having a lot of money when you're young is an anomaly. It's not. It doesn't happen that much, even though you may see this a lot. Like I was saying earlier, it's a per capita thing. It means that people are rich, so you're gonna see it. 14, 15 year olds with money, shit, 13. Well, the kid that's on YouTube, he's a millionaire at like 6 years old, playing with toys,
yeah,
making
yeah,
40
yeah.
million a year. You get what I'm saying? So these are the type of things that happen, but it isolates you.
Mm.
It isolates you, and a lot of the people become cold. They become bitter. They become sometimes they have mental health issues because they may not deal with it a certain way, but then they also may find their social circle because also your social circle has to change. It
Yes,
has to change
I
because
agree.
it's not
Yeah.
it's not nothing personal against your friends that you have, but
Mm,
eventually they're not going to understand when you're like spending
I can.
$200-300 a day on a meal or something like that to go eat with you. They're
Yeah.
not gonna, oh, I can't do that. That must be nice,
Yeah.
or that they're not gonna be able to stand it. Then you're like, dang, when I have to hang with these people that are spending the same thing, and a lot of people are not ready for that change, the social change that comes with it, and that even happens with family too, because
Mm,
they may feel they have to live the same lifestyle as you, so your family might alienate you
mm,
because of you live in a certain way or feel like you have to take care of them. And then at some point, you always gonna have up and downs. You might have a
mm,
down year, and like, hey, I can't pay y'all rent this month. I can't pay for your
mm,
taxes. I can't do this. I can't do it for a few months, and they might adjust their lifestyle adjusts around yours, so they might adjust their lifestyle with like, but damn, man, you left me out hanging and you've been paying for this and I'll do this now and I don't really have the money to do it. So they may feel you might be messing up their life because they're dependent on you. And that's one thing as you come into this money is don't make anyone dependent on you because
mm.
there's going to
Yeah.
be days when you're not going to have it and resentment will happen. So don't make anyone dependent
Mm.
on you.
That's interesting. Yeah. You know, I used to see a lot of my friends from high school, like saying like, man, like, just go to school, bro. Like, like, you're not gonna become a millionaire. Let's go to school. And it's like they don't even think it's possible. That's the thing. They don't. They think, you know what? I'm not the special one. I'm just gonna go to job the rest of my life. I'm gonna go to school and get a job. I'm not even gonna try. I'm not even gonna find out. I'm not even gonna speak to millionaires. I'm not even gonna try to speak to them and see them. They are not regular people. They are superhumans. I'm not gonna be him. It's like, man, you only got one life and you're not even gonna try. It's like I had to cut those people off. Yeah, I can absolutely, because it poisons your mind, man. That's what I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, because then they're like, oh, well, he's weird or he's this because
Yeah.
he don't want to be our friends because we want to be regular people. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, I'm trying to be this. I want to be this, and
Yeah.
that's just not what's the line. So the farther you get from high school, the farther you
Yeah.
get from high school, from what I learned, the farther you get from high school, the more these people drop off, and then you start
Mm.
making new social circles. You're not gonna. You'd be like, well, damn, I stay at the lunch table with this guy every day. Now I don't speak to him. I don't see him. Now he may have a family and he may have
Mm.
a wife and this and that, and they may, they're be happy. They're happy in their own world, and you have to understand that it's their life. It's not yours because eventually,
Mm.
when you get into the position that you want to be in, you're gonna start looking at them and be like, man, I could have changed their life. I could have did that. And don't get mad at people for being who
Yeah.
they are. Just be who you are, and that's how life is going to work out. And from you still being young, it's going to be you'll see when you get older. You'll be like, man, I remember this interview when he was telling me a lot of this was coming, and so you
Man.
have to change the social circles and adjust. And some of them may resent you after
Yeah.
I'll say 10 years from now. And let's
Mm.
say let's say 10 years from now, right? And you don't achieve what you was going for, right? But you had your moments, you had your highlights from actually trying.
Yeah.
They will be jealous for they a lot of people will be envious of those highlights than what actually is.
Ah,
And
interesting.
sometimes you'll have your days and you want to quit when you see them when they may be like looking like you may have a downtime and they may be looking like they're living a life better than yours or anything like that. And you also can't be envious of that of your own where you're just looking like, oh man, I wish I had that or whatever. It's you have to complete your mission and don't become an incel. That's it, man.
Mm.
Please do not become an incel, man. Do not become an incel, man. Enjoy, have your fun. That's
Mm.
it. Have your fun. Have your fun with this, and
Mm.
try not to have kids until you
Yeah.
complete what you want to.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have kids early. I don't understand about making a legacy happen, but
Mm.
try your best not to have kids if you're really serious about this moment because
Mm.
kids deserve all your time, and
Yeah. I
that's
can
the most
understand.
important thing about this is time.
Yep. You know, I had a girlfriend even like this year, and man, I was with
Mhm.
her for like a year and a half, but we broke
Yeah.
up because I had to realize that uh she was requiring, as you said, too much time, and she was requiring too much attention. I was like I'm gonna give you that example. When I went to meet this guy in Prague, it was a weekend, and she can only see me on weekends. I told her, babe, sorry, I can't see you this weekend. I can meet someone that I'm looking up to, and someone that's close to my age, and this is a good networking opportunity to learn something from someone. And she's like, so you'd rather go to Prague to meet a dude instead of spending time with me? And I'm like, okay, if you truly love me, you'd understand. And she blocked me, and I'm like, she's breaking up with me or something like that. So I just went. And then the same night she unblocked me and tried to explain it to me, and I'm like, that was the day when I told her, yeah, you can come by. It was a Saturday. So on Sunday she came, and we broke up because I told her, nah, I'm not gonna tolerate this. Like, she's not supportive when I'm trying to make something of myself. She's only thinking about herself. I'm not spending time with her. And I'm like, you know what? Nah. This gotta end. I need, if I'm gonna have a girlfriend, which I also think that right now it's not a good point in my life to have a girlfriend right now. But even if, I need someone that actually will support me and will understand if I don't have time, not be selfish and try to start an argument when I'm trying to make something of myself, you know. So that's
Yeah,
another thing that.
that's what needs to be under. That's definitely what needs to be understood because I
Yeah.
currently have a girlfriend and she understands. Cause I was at this
Yeah.
point in time in my life, before that, before I got my girlfriend, my new girlfriend I have now, I was done. I was done. I'm like, all right, man, I'm just gonna stay single. I'm about to get the money, mess with girls
uh,
as we go along and shit. But I ain't about to lock nothing in. So
mm,
you have to understand when having a girlfriend that you have to be wealthy in time and money.
mm,
Women, when it comes to women, this may sound a little harsh or whatever, but they kind of come into what's built and usually don't
mm.
help build. You have to understand that as a
Yeah,
man.
that's understandable. I
Yeah,
mean,
so you have to understand that. So
I
you
mean,
have to
you're
understand
just
that
gonna
as a man.
accept that. Oh, sorry, sorry, I'm speaking
Yeah,
over you. Sorry.
it's all right. So yeah, so you have to understand that, but they will love you, but you have to understand as a man, as you know, we see these arguments of 50-50 and all this stuff. Nah, man, bro. Like
Nah.
get your money up because it's gonna be she's gonna like the thing that you buy for her. She's gonna do what she do to feel like she's
Mm,
reciprocating and stuff. Especially if you're a wealthy man.
mm,
When you're a wealthy man, you have to understand that they 9 times out of 10 the woman's not coming in wealthy herself, and that's just how society is. Society is where there's not that many wealthy women, and most of the wealthy women in the world they got all their money from inheritance, not by being
mm,
self made outside of Kylie Jenner and Rihanna or music
mm,
stars. You get what I'm saying? When music stars
mm,
really, that's it. That kind of really make their own money. Any type of entertainment when it comes to women, that's a
mm,
societal thing. That's not an opinion. That's what we see.
mm.
So you have to also understand that probably the average woman that you're going to deal with if you become a millionaire. I don't say if when you become a millionaire because you're going for it,
Yep.
and that's how you have to speak because the power in the tongue. You have to
Yep.
say when I do this, I am
Absolutely.
or I will. Yeah, you have to, I am or I will. So you have to speak it and really into it existing. So
Yep.
when you do become a millionaire, you have to understand of what it is and how they're dealing with you,
Mm,
how they're dealing with you. Like you understand if you in a spot and there's other millionaire. Let's say you in a club, whatever. Y'all partying. I got a section. You have to understand. They see that. Okay, this is where the millionaire section at. Hey, whatever. They see that and understand how they are dealing with you.
mm,
So if they're dealing with you, hey man, they just want to have some money. They just want to deal with you because you got some money. You have to understand that. You have to understand, but then you also have one that you can be at that coffee shop just getting the coffee, getting the
yep.
$4 coffee. You could be a millionaire, but
Yep.
you're getting a $4 coffee. You chilling,
Mm,
and you meet a girl. You meet a girl there, and she whatever she's meeting you for who you are as a person. She don't see your car out front. She don't see none of that, and she's dealing
yep.
with you as that. 9 times out of 10, she could have money, but she could not, but
Mm,
she's dealing with you as a person. So you have to understand the circumstances of where you're meeting these people at. You have to understand those circumstances
mm.
of where you're meeting people, because you can't expect love if this girl just saw you in the club popping bottles, having fun with your guys. You can't, you can't. I would say it can happen, but most likely in probability in real life, 9 times out of 10, oh, they got
Mm,
the money, boys. Okay, man, she been suck your soul out your body real quick so she can say it
Oh man.
wrong. So
You know, I had this one guy. I was speaking to a guy online. It was on a group call in a school community, and he was like, after the coach left, we were just speaking, and this guy said he was like 21. He said that he went to a strip club. He paid he paid a prostitute, and then she asked for her phone number, and he took her out on a date, and it was like, you just take a hooker out on a date? What the fuck? Like, man,
yeah,
some guys just don't see it. Some guys,
they don't get
guys
it. They
just
don't
don't
get it.
think.
It's called the game, and the game is the game, and understand the game that you playing. You gotta understand
Yeah,
you gonna meet genuine women, and you also gonna meet
yeah,
hoes, man. People gotta understand that you can't change who people
yeah,
are. And that's one thing. Like, but they say you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. You understand
yeah,
this lady's a prostitute. What you trying to turn into a housewife for? All she gonna
yeah,
do is go to the next person when she end up meeting your partner or somebody you're doing business with that got more money than you. Oh, she about to go over there. You gotta because you're dealing with a prostitute, man. And you're like, oh man, you done married this prostitute. Like, oh man, she done left me for so and so. Like, bro, like you understand? You thought you changed that? No, bro, you
yeah,
tripping. And some people do that.
yeah. I heard a
Some people
quote.
do that.
I heard a quote. Jesus forgives adult.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
that was
So
funny.
so just understand the circumstances that you're dealing with these women, and that's why I said
Yes.
about the whole I said the comment about the incel thing because a lot of the incels they don't understand the circumstances. They'll look online and say, "Oh man, all women are hoes. They all want to be only fans. They all want to be
Hmm.
this. This is what you're looking at on the internet. You have to understand
Yeah.
there's a real life outside of the internet when you turn that
Yep.
phone off. There's gonna be
Like,
somebody that appreciate and love you just as much. You know what I'm saying? You could be the ugliest man in the world. You might have the baddest females ever just because you're rich.
mm.
But then you might have a female that's medium ugly and shit, but she gonna love you to your soul. Or you might
You
find
know,
a bad female that's gonna love you because she might like the way you talk or the way you dress.
yeah, you know, like some guys let their bad experiences, like they call this thing a red pill rage. It's when guys hate women for some reason. It's like a
Yeah,
girl, one girl cheated on him, and now he thinks every girl is the same. It's like you just have to know, have to understand more about female nature, and just understand that not every girl is the same. Although they all say all girls are the same, there are some really good, amazing girls out there. Like there are some
yeah,
girls that are gonna be, and also another thing, some girls are gonna be a pain in the ass for this dude, but she's gonna be a sweetheart and a girl of the dreams for another guy. It's like you
yeah.
also, yeah, you have to also get some self-reflection, sometimes.
Yeah, and it's the same thing, and vice versa, because you could be the sweetest man to
Yeah,
to a woman, and then another one might
yeah,
think you were the worst person to her ever, and you're like, "Damn, what I do?" Like, so it's just how life is, and like you were
hell
saying
yeah,
about the red pill rage, and people will understand, like,
yeah,
"Oh man, my girlfriend cheated on me." You gotta, like I said earlier, step your game up. Game is game, man. You got to
yeah,
get player. Maybe you was
yeah,
lacking in something, but then also she could be a narcissist. So it's either or. So
yeah,
it's just the game. The game is the game.
yeah.
You gotta take the hits and roll with the punches when it comes to this.
If
You
you
gotta
wanna
take the
be a
hits and roll.
player, you gotta lose some.
Yeah, you're gonna lose some games for
Yeah.
sure.
Another question. What's the definition of loyalty?
Definition of loyalty. It's the same. Loyalty is the same thing as what's the
Even
word
from
I'm
like
trying to
friends, etc.
what's the word I'm trying to use? It's unconditional love. Loyalty has to come with unconditional love.
Unconditional.
Unconditional love, because being loyal to a person is when you have unconditional love to a person, that's when you become loyal to a fault because it's unconditional love
Mm,
no matter what. So yeah, being loyal is coincides with unconditional love.
okay. Do you think men can be unconditionally loved?
Absolutely,
Hmm.
because there's men and women, and everybody talk about the quote of women love men for what they bring, not for their whatever. The only thing that's unconditionally love is dogs and babies or some shit like that, or some they say something like that. But yes, because with men we actually take love more serious than women. That's why we get the
Mm.
whole red pill rage, and that's why we get the whole anger thing or the
Yeah.
hate towards women when their heart is broken, because we take love more
Mm.
seriously, like by far. And this is where you get the crimes of people taking out their whole family because their heart was broken in order to take themselves out, because the suicide rate in men is very, very higher than
Yeah.
it is for women. And
Yeah.
because we take love serious, but that's why we love less, because we take it
Mm.
so serious. Nobody want to feel that pain no more. You're skinny
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you can't eat, hair falling out. You don't take that, but men take love more seriously. But that's why it seemed like where women could get into relationship after relationship after
Yeah. Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah. 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 That I can understand that absolutely.
You know,
What's the purpose of life?
the purpose of life. Well, it depends on how you look at life. If we are we in a simulation? If it's a simulation, then it's to score the highest points. It's like a video game if we in a simulation. But then if you want to look at it in a spiritual, if you want to look at the spiritual realm, then it's to be in service to others. That's
Hmm.
it. Be in service to others. Listen, link up, be social, love,
Hmm.
have fun. To the purpose of life, you can take it two ways:
Hmm.
simulation
Yeah.
theory, score the highest points; spiritual, be in service to others.
Interesting. Do you believe there's any like correlation between, as people like to call it, health and wealth? Like, do you think there's any correlation between that?
Absolutely, you look good, you feel good, you do good.
Hmm. Hmm. Interesting. Yeah. If you could, this is an interesting one. If you could rewind your life to a certain age that you decide, what would you have done differently, and what age would you rewind to?
Um, if I didn't go to prison,
Oh, yeah. Those.
but then also me going also got me to the positions that I am in now.
Hmm.
So if I didn't go, I always kind of wonder how different would it be.
Hmm.
Would I still be doing the same thing? Would I be doing this? Would I be doing that? But then again, it's like this is what's a part of it. This is part of my journey, and that's what made me who I am today. Literally, that's how I got the information that I have now.
Hmm.
I,
Okay.
I would have still been an NPC in the Matrix. I would say.
Interesting. I wouldn't think of that, but interesting. What would you say like the jail has taught you like one life lesson?
um, respect time.
Hmm. Respect time.
Yeah,
Interesting.
respect time. Time is, like I said earlier, the most important thing. If it wasn't, they wouldn't take it away from you as a
Hmm.
punishment.
Oh
Time is
shit.
the time is the only thing that has value in this world.
Ah man. Fucking hell.
What
That's
they would say?
interesting.
Time is money. They always say that.
That's true. I can see that happening. Now, this is the last question I have for you, and this is like a question like more like for me, but it's like, what would you do if you could give any advice to your 17-year-old self?
Mm. What's the new saying y'all be saying now? Lock in.
Ah.
The kids say, lock in. Right. Take time. Don't have any kids and
Mm,
lock in. Become who you want to be. You're gonna lose a lot, but you're also gonna gain a lot. And understand, don't take nothing personal, because you can't control
mm,
anything but what you got going on in front of you. And that's the thing, we let these outside things control us of how somebody may feel about us. Don't never let that happen. Don't be, oh well, you're heartless because you did this or you went and did that, like how you were saying about how you went to if I'm saying it right, Prague. That's how you say it.
yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so how you went to Prague, you didn't let that was your opportunity to change your life or change your situation, or at least put
Yep.
you in another mindset, and you did not let
Yeah.
that you didn't take it too personal to the point that you didn't let that affect you, like, oh, I'm a bad
Mm,
person. I didn't. No, you doing what you're supposed to do, and things are gonna happen like that because you may have somebody that's in a situation around you where they're gonna have to do what they're supposed to do and it may hinder you, or I don't want to say necessarily put you in a bad spot, but you
Yeah,
may get left behind in a certain
yeah.
situation because they're doing what they have to do. And sometimes they're
Mm-hmm.
in tunnel vision. And when you're in tunnel vision, you don't see who racing next to you. You don't know who tripped and fell next to you, and they may be
Mm,
falling back in the race. So when you stay focused
yeah,
and you lock in and keep running your race,
yeah. And also, I don't regret meeting that guy instead of my girlfriend back then because, man, that was the day that I changed completely like how I value money. I think like I always used to think that money is this scarce thing that I cannot get my hands on, and now I see
they
like
print it every day.
there are people with so much money that it's like I cannot imagine myself like going to a job working 30 days a month for $1,500 for the rest of my life.
It's sick.
Man, it's like
It's
somebody
sick.
makes $1,500 an hour, even less than that. So it's like, man, I refuse to give up my life for something that's so
Yes.
imaginary. I always say money is imaginary. It's like it's just numbers on a screen that somebody types up and then prints.
Yeah, whoever invented money and invented value, they
Yeah.
cold for that. They whoever they are cold for that. But the more
Yeah.
money you have, the more money you have, the more freedom that you have. And like I don't know
Mm.
if you play Grand Theft Auto, you play
Yeah,
Grand
yeah,
Theft Auto.
yeah, yeah. Man,
Life
when you
life works like that when you start going
mm,
on your missions and start doing
yeah,
what you're really supposed to do. Life kind of works like that, and then you notice the more that you play the game, the more money that you
yeah.
have in the game, the more stuff you're actually able to do in the game. Life literally works out exactly like that. It's just the only thing there's no respawning. That's the only thing. There's no
Yeah.
respawning.
Yeah, that's
But
also
life
true.
works out like that. So you'll get missions in front of you. You get
Mm.
NPCs that you're gonna deal with.
Yep.
You're gonna get all of that. But you notice that the farther that you get in the game, the more missions that you complete, the
Mm.
the more freedom that you get into the game, and life literally works out like that.
Mm. Also, another thing I realized is that like you gotta take out the obstacles, man, or like the hurdles in your life because either that can be people or yourself. Sometimes it's like, man, like porn addictions or video. And that was mine. Video game addictions. Like I always found myself like 2 weeks not playing video games and then installing them back on and just and you cannot try to like build a business but then also have 1 hour of video games a day which then turns into five and then you lose so much time on an imaginary video game character. It's like you have to give something up, and it's especially something that's taken up so much of your time and it's not helping you in any way. So getting rid of my video game addiction was something that I'm so glad I did it now at 17, and I haven't played video games in like more than half a year. Man, I'm so glad I did it earlier because I still see a friend of mine from the gym. He goes to the gym, goes to his job, and then gets back home and plays video games all day. And he's 24 years old. 24.
Does he
Yeah.
does he stream?
No, no, no. Just plays
Well,
it.
then what's the point of him playing? He can't do everything for the love of the game at this point.
Yeah.
He
The thing is,
at
yeah,
least got to
man.
stream or something.
Hey, he thinks he's being productive because he goes to the gym, then goes to his job, so he's making enough money to take care of himself and pay the rent, and then he can do whatever he wants with his time. But he doesn't realize that he's gonna be in this loop for the next, what, 41 years until he goes into retirement. Next 40 years are gonna work the same job and play video games. It's like, man, you gotta find a way out.
That's it. That's the
Yeah.
game he's choosing to play. That's his Grand Theft Auto. That's where he ended.
Yeah.
That's where he ended his game at. So
Yeah.
that's what it is.
I always say, like, if you hate your job, when you're not in your job, try to find a way to get out. That's the
Hmm.
main thing. So, what's next for Oba the Great?
Okay. Building my platforms to
Mm,
where I can become my own powerhouse. And
mm,
that's what I'm currently doing right now, is to where I can build it, where I become my own powerhouse and legitimately become self-made, to where I can also empower
mm,
people. There's a difference between empowering and employing. I don't want to employ
mm.
people. I want to empower people so you
Ah,
can do your own thing, because everybody, I learned from working with these groups before that everybody still wants their own power. That everybody else still
mm,
wants to be everybody still has their dream on what they want to do. So you rather empower people. Say, hey, listen, I know you're here for a good time, not a long time, to do this.
Mm.
So okay, how can we get you in a position? And that's where the meaning of life of like I was saying with the whole meaning of life thing of being in service to others. So this is where you're being in service to other people. Okay,
Mm.
let me help empower you and put you into position.
Mm.
So yeah, that's what's next.
Okay. Where can people find you, man?
They can find me on Instagram, which is over the great, X over the great one, YouTube over the great. So everything is generalized over the great. If you want to listen to my music, over the great. So I
Mm.
made everything easy for you.
Okay, well, guys, thank you for watching till the end. This was an amazing conversation. Like, honestly, I've learned a lot, even myself. So I'm looking forward to releasing this. Thanks again for watching this one, and I'm gonna catch you on the next one, guys.